About this morning, but don't we always? Is there ever a day we don't have a lot to talk about?
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right. Yes, yes. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Show, longest running radio show. That's right. It's Tuesday, December 27th, 2 days after Christmas. We'll be here live all week. And man, is there a lot going on to talk about on the radio this morning. And we're going to cover a lot of things because I was saying on yesterday's show, all these snakes in the Republican establishment, the Democrats, and the mainstream media think that they can pull over a lot of stuff over holiday times. And we're here to make sure that that does not happen. And we're going to be here live all this week and next week, all the way through our cruise. We'll be here live, guys. So just to let you know. And yeah, today's show better be good because I literally took my life in my hands driving on I-95 this morning in the rain. I don't know why people feel the need to drive 100 miles an hour in the rain on I-95. I have no idea. And I don't know, where's the highway patrol? It's so dangerous. But I'm here, and I survived. I just got to make it home. And yesterday, I did not realize what a big holiday the day after Christmas is. Because when I got off the air, I left the radio station, and there was hardly a car on I-95. And usually that's like rush hour, the end of rush hour, the morning commute, whatever they call it in the traffic reports. And it was like it was like the days of COVID on I-95. There were so few cars on the road. And then I went to Target, and it was jam packed. I'm assuming either people taking things back or just cabin fever from Christmas. But we got a lot to talk about today. We'll also take your calls at 1-888-GO-KANE-1. Okay, so Kari Lake, there's a story, there's a big update on Kari Lake and her court case. She is now about to enter the world that Trump lives in. Maricopa County and Katie Hobbs are going after Kari Lake and her legal team for $500,000. And of course, I was talking yesterday, Mike Lindell of MyPillow is financially backing Kari Lake's legal team. So now, this is what's about to happen with Kari Lake. Katie Hobbs, the Democrats, and the Republican establishment, because the McCains have a lot of power in Arizona, but Kari Lake's life will never be the same. Going after her for $500,000, which she does not have. She is not a wealthy woman. I remember she was running in the primaries. I can't remember all the primary candidates, but I watched the Kari Lake gubernatorial debate. And it was before the primary, so there were all these different candidates. And there was one woman, a Republican, running against her, who is the wife of a billionaire. She's like a sugar baby. She's got like a sugar daddy billionaire, and she's got nothing else to do. And most women who have nothing else to do set up an Etsy shop. She decided she was going to run for governor, and because, well, she's got a billionaire sugar daddy husband. And I was watching this debate, and it was hilarious. Kari Lake had brought up that she lives in this massive mansion, and she asked Kari Lake, well, what size is her house? And Kari Lake lives in a small townhouse. She's not a wealthy woman. She walked away from her six-figure job that she would have had for life in the news business, and they have decided her life is going to be filled with punishment from this point forward. I think when things are over, I'm guessing Kari Lake is going to end up as President Trump's press spokesperson. I've been talking about this for a while. She will never have work in the media unless Newsmax hires her. Now, Newsmax would be pretty smart to hire her and blow out Greta Van Boring. Greta Van Boring has really messed up that entire lineup on Newsmax. And I know they've had to suffer ratings problems because of Greta Van Susteren. She's just awful. We had her on the show. I interviewed her, and I had a very hard time making her interesting. But I did bring up some things like she got a little riled up about, which is difficult to do. But anyway, Kari Lake would be great on Newsmax in that 6 o'clock slot, but they're going to destroy her. And they're going to destroy Kari Lake for a number of reasons. They want to make sure, and when I say they, I'm talking about the media, the Democrat, and the Republican establishment of the Uniparty. They want to make sure that Kari Lake, there's a few things they're doing with Kari Lake, okay? They're going to totally destroy her life. And unlike President Trump, she's not a billionaire with all kinds of revenue streams coming in. They want to make sure Kari Lake never holds political office moving forward. They're afraid she might run for the House or something down the road. She may run for the Senate, and they don't want that to happen. And she could very well find herself a House district she could run in. Maybe she should relocate to Florida and run for the House here in Florida. There's a lot of rumors that Madison Cawthorn's going to run here in Florida. And if he were running in my district, I'd vote for him. Unfortunately, I'm in a Democrat district. But they're going to destroy her financially, Kari Lake. They are never going to leave her alone. They're going to get this. They're going to get this $500,000 judgment against her and her legal team, and that's just the beginning. And it's not just because they want to destroy her and hold her and keep her from ever holding political office. They certainly don't. They're terrified of Kari Lake. So that's their immediate goal, is to make sure that she is broke, destitute, unemployable, never finds work, and never holds office. But they're also doing it to send a little message out as a lesson to anyone who is connected with Trump. We will destroy your life forever. That's the way of it. This is part of the Destroy the MAGA movement, and they're making an example out of Kari Lake, just like they're making an example out of Donald Trump. You step out of line, you're done. You'll never have a job. You'll never hold office. You'll have just this scarlet letter on you, and that is going to be your life. And Kari Lake stood up to all of them, and she continues to do it, and they just can't have that. And I don't know too much about her family, but I imagine that'll be next. We'll start hearing things about her family. Now, we don't know exactly what her personal plans are because she hasn't really told us what she'll be doing from this moment forward. But, Newsmax, I know we have people from the Newsmax executive offices who listen to this program. Newsmax, their corporate offices are located in Boca. Hire Kari Lake and do it quick. Get rid of Greta Van Susteren, put her on in that 6 o'clock slot, and boom, or put her up against Tucker Carlson. She's very, very good. She's good on interviews, and she's good interviewing. She would be spectacular on Newsmax, and I think Kari Lake would cause Newsmax to explode in the ratings. But outside of Newsmax, or working as President Trump's press spokesperson, she's not going to find work, because it's not just that they're trying to make her unemployable. Anyone who hires Kari Lake is going to face punishment too. And this is what's going on. One of the things that the Twitter files have showed us a lot in this latest dump. This word misinformation is just become like, acceptable. Misinformation means you disagree with them. And what we have now is the political powers that are in charge of the government right now. Anyone who questions them or disagrees with them, they are out to destroy. And there are a lot of people out there that will never run for office because of what's happened to President Trump. And, people that are not millionaires and billionaires who have to make a living in the world, like Kari Lake, are going to say, look at Kari Lake, I don't want to go through that. It's a terrible thing. And I don't think it's going to stop Kari Lake. She's going to continue to fight. She doesn't seem to care too much. I don't know too much about her husband and what he does and what kind of money he earns and all of that. But I hope it's enough, because they are going to punish Kari Lake for many years to come as a message. It's really, isn't it? It's really disgusting. You know, this whole illusion that we're in a free country, and what we're finding is that we're a free country the same way, you know, China and North Korea are in so many ways. So if you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take our first break of the day. When we get back, there's a lot to talk about, but I do want to hear your thoughts on Kari Lake. What do you think she's going to do next? Do you like the idea of Newsmax hiring her and giving her a show in that from 6 p.m. on into the prime time somewhere? Do you think she's going to end up as President Trump's spokesperson? What do you think is happening with Kari Lake? And do you agree or disagree with me in that they're going to destroy her as much as they possibly can and harass her for years to come to send a message to people? Don't align yourself with Donald Trump. You know, Dr. Oz is worth so much money, he never has to put the stethoscope on again or do another TV show. So he can afford to take these people on. But Kari Lake's just a middle-class person, you know, and she's going to have a difficult time. I don't even know if CPAC will have much to do with her beyond maybe this year to get some people to go. All right, so we'll take our first break. Callers on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with
Steve Kane Show.
On Oldies 95.9 and 106.9.
Okay. Welcome, everyone. Make sure you like the video if you're just joining. Also, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Yeah, I got this hat for my mother-in-law. Gave me this hat for Christmas. Added it to my large hat collection of Trump hats that I don't wear all of them. I kind of wear a hat until I wear it out, and then I move on. Kind of like shoes. Yeah, this is a good one. What I like about this one, I like hats that have like this netting on the back. They're lighter and more comfortable because it's so hot in Florida. Not today, it's not hot, but in general. Steve Kane Show. Well, man. Oh, boy. We'll be back in about a minute. A minute. That's right. It's a federal holiday.
Also Cyber Monday.
That's true. Yeah.
2023 with Broadway film and TV star Eric Bergen. People are longing for an over-the-top celebration, and this is it. Eric Bergen live, star of Broadway Chicago and Waitress.
Everyone back to work today, I would imagine.
Madam Secretary, The Good Fight, and Bull. Tickets on sale now at thewick.org or call 561-995-2333.
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious, crispy on the outside, succulent on the inside. Everything homemade, nothing comes out of the can. Dozens of specialty sauces that are rich.
Let's see.
Plus, located in Coral Springs, a mile west of University, on the south side of Central Road.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Oh, man, welcome, everyone. If you're on hold, stand by. Yeah, yesterday was a federal holiday. We were here yesterday. Yesterday was a rough show for me for a number of reasons. I had too much to drink over Christmas. I don't know what people must think I'm a drunk or something. People gave me so many bottles of wine, and one of our sponsors gave me a great bottle of wine. I mean, like a really, fancy bottle of wine from Anne Marie's. And then someone else in my family gave me a bottle of wine. The radio station gave me a bottle of wine, and then they gave me a bottle of wine to give Steve. I drank both of those, not by myself. I had people. So yesterday's show, I'm a little bit of a lightweight on the drinking. When I first started doing this and I was younger, I would be out partying at the clubs till about 1:30 in the morning. I'd be live on the air at 3 a.m. and it was like nothing. But it takes me like 6 days after I have like half a beer to detox it out of my system. So yesterday was, it was a holiday yesterday. Everyone was off work. I wouldn't say hungover. Technically, I didn't have a headache or anything, and I didn't get drunk. I just had some wine, so I was a little tired. And also on Christmas, this has been long in the planning, but my daughter moved out of the house on Christmas. She did it on Christmas of all days. And so, well, it's just for some reasons. There was reasons why she did it on Christmas. It wasn't like she had enough of us and I can't take it anymore. I'm out of here. You're drinking too much wine, Dad. It was long in the planning. So, and I wasn't drinking because my daughter was moving out, but it was emotional. When your kids move out, you feel good. You want them to move out and grow up, but then, you miss them. So, so a lot going on this week, I must say. Now, I ran into a whole bunch of listeners over the weekend at Friendly Tire in Margate. Since my daughter's moving out, one of the things I did, I got her 4 new tires on her car over at Friendly Tire in Margate. And I ran into a whole bunch of listeners Saturday morning. I felt like I was doing a personal appearance for the radio station. I ran into so many people over there. And I got my daughter not just 4 new tires, I got her 4 new Firestone tires, because I want her to have the best, for days like today when the roads are wet. And let me tell you, if you need tires of any kind, not only can Friendly Tire get them for you, he can get them at prices so low it will blow your mind. Now, of course, the prices are different for every, size and different brands. And you don't have to get name brands like I got, like Firestone, but he has all the brands that you know and love. Firestone, which a personal favorite of mine, Bridgestone, and whatever other types of Pirellis. If you need them, he's got them. And he's got them at prices over at Friendly Tire that are so low, it's like you don't even mind buying tires. And a lot of people put off buying tires and are out there driving when it's not even safe because they're so expensive. With Friendly Tire in Margate, you don't have to do that. By the way, he has thousands of used tires in stock, and he also does tire repairs. I ran into listeners over there that were getting like everything done. Ran into someone that was getting, actually 2 listeners getting repairs. Ran into a listener getting a used tire. Ran into a listener getting all new tires like I was doing for my daughter. And we were just having a good time hanging out. So, but anyway, if you need tires, no matter where you are, give Friendly Mike a call. And remember, when he gives you a quote over the phone, that's out the door and on the road, because he doesn't charge you to mount the tire, balance the tire, or even dispose of your old tires. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. That's Friendly Tire in Margate. All right. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Victor, Silver Spring, Maryland.
Hey, Victor.
I hope Kari Lake can find a radio station that will put her on from 12 to 3. I'm looking for somebody to listen to in that time slot. I get bored with Clay and Buck. Rob Carson thinks he's a Rush Limbaugh wannabe and giggles over every little thing and interrupts sound bites every 5 seconds. So I would love to see Kari Lake on a talk show from noon to 3.
Yeah, that would be good. Taking calls from liberals, that'd be brilliant. I'd like to see news. I think it's more realistic though, because she's a television. Radio and television are 2 different mediums. You know, they're completely different. So just because someone's good on television doesn't mean they'll be good on the radio, vice versa. She's very good on television, and I think Newsmax hiring her would be just a huge boost for Newsmax. But they're doing so much damage to her. I don't know if Newsmax would hire her. I really don't know because
this is the one thing about the left. If they don't like you, not only do they tell you, like I was listening to you when a neighbor came over to read my mail to me, and she heard you talking about Trump, and she said, I'm never going to speak to you again.
Oh, man, you should give her our number to call in. Well, that's the tolerant left. Kari Lake's problem are not Democrats. Democrats always hate Republicans. Kari Lake's problem is the Republican establishment. So Republicans are her problem.
Yes.
No.
Maryland is in really bad shape. We're going to get a Democrat governor, and he's a wacko.
Well, you gotta ask yourself, and I'll bring this up. People will get ticked at me, but I bring this up. Why is the Republican establishment out to destroy Kari Lake forever, but they leave Ron DeSantis alone?
That's one thing I can't figure out. I guess Ron DeSantis doesn't take any, stuff off.
Well, what's going on with Ron DeSantis is they're setting him up. They're setting him up to go up against Trump in the primary. If that were to happen and he were to get the nomination, then they'd go out and do to him what they're doing to everyone else because he's MAGA. But Ron DeSantis they're trying to set a trap.
They'll bring him up, and then once he's nominated, then they'll tear him apart like they did with John McCain in 2008.
Yeah, and what's going to happen with Kari Lake is going to be brutal. They're just never going to leave her alone. They're just never. She's going to be forever harassed.
Yeah, and where's the National Organization of Women? I thought they would help each other. Apparently they don't. No. If you're a conservative.
No, it's the National Organization of Liberal Women. Hey, Victor, appreciate the call. Thanks so much. All right, now listen, we're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. If you're on hold, stand by. When we get back, we'll go back to the calls, and I got a lot more to talk about, too, all right? We're here live today, all week, all month. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name's Brian Craig. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again.
I think you're gonna really love it.
I'll be right back, guys. Somebody said something about me saying something to somebody's face. I'll be right back. A men's room break, and then you can tell me. If I can get my mic off, it's stuck to my shirt. Stuck to a thread. Oh, there we go.
Coming up this morning. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well on your Tuesday. Rainy outside, at least for the next several hours, so we'll be clearing slightly at about noontime, but more so later this afternoon. So today, a transitional day. Some areas will see some sun. We're only going to be in the upper 60s for a daytime high. And again, the wettest weather will be taking place this morning, and then we'll start to ease off. I'm WPB App 25 First Warning Meteorologist Sandra Shaw.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
True oldies traffic check.
Also, much better news now in Palm Beach Gardens. That earlier multi-vehicle crash that was closing the turnpike heading northbound between the Beeline Highway and PGA Boulevard is now all cleared and pushed over to the right shoulder. Traffic is moving back up to speed on the approach. As for I-95, we're still moving up to speed between Boca Raton and Jupiter, and the surface streets are crash-free. In Broward County, things are crash-free, moving up to speed as well. This report is sponsored by the Positive Coaching Alliance. Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org. That's traffic from Chris Paul.
Hey, it's Scott Shannon, and who doesn't want to have a home security system? So, by popular demand, we're bringing it back. Who wants a free doorbell camera? I wish I could give everyone a free doorbell camera, but I can't. I can give the first 40 True Oldies channel listeners who call today a free doorbell camera. 1-800-ALARM-ME. You get a free limited-time doorbell camera that connects directly to your phone with installation of your Sloman shield. The doorbell camera is part of a free 1,500.
Yeah, I missed that comment. Somebody said something about me saying something to somebody's face. What was that comment? Let me see if I can go back.
Said, I agree, Brian. Why are the Republicans so darn two-faced?
Yeah, let me see if I can find that one. She should go to OAN. Yeah, OAN. No, not a big enough reach on OAN. Newsmax on more people, on more places. To go to One American News is to be in obscurity. Oh, why are they two-faced? Yeah, that's for sure. Oh, you're saying something about being two-faced. Oh, the two-faced, yeah. That was the one. I have the brightness turned down really low. I stream on my iPhone. I got the brightness turned down so low I can hardly see the chat. I got it on my iPad, which is bright. And you can see there's a delay. She should go to CNN. They're not going to hire her on CNN. That's just not going to happen. You kidding me? Yeah, it's like it was like 57 degrees this morning, which is nice. Warmer than yesterday, but still too cold for me. Tomorrow it's supposed to get, and it's rainy, which sucks. Have you all liked the video? If you haven't, please do. One American News is not revivable. They're not on. They don't have enough reach. They got canceled off of most every cable company that carried them. They got knocked off of DirecTV. You can't revive something that has no reach. It's not revivable, unfortunately. Fox is not going to hire her. She's MAGA. They're not going to hire her on Fox. That would be good, but they're not going to do that. Newsmax is the only place she could have a chance of getting hired and be effective. If they gave her a weekday show on Newsmax, everybody would be watching that. No doubt about it. She missed the no. She's not appealing. She missed the appeal. The appeal deadline has already passed, so that's over. They didn't appeal it. I hate cold weather too. We don't live in Florida for cold weather. Real America Voice would be the second choice, but Newsmax is where she would be better. You know.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show, celebrating 45 years on the air.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. So what I've been talking about here in the first half hour or so is they're just out to destroy Kari Lake. Katie Hobbs and Maricopa County are going after her for $500,000 in legal fees, attorney's fees, and all of this. And that is just the beginning. And I'm talking about where she'll end up. And my pick, as I've been talking about, would be on Newsmax. Someone during the break in the chat room said, oh, she should go to One American News. She could revive One American News. One American News cannot be revived. They're not on enough outlets. They've been knocked off of almost every cable outlet that carried them. They got knocked off DirecTV. They have no reach. Newsmax would, if Newsmax really, they're the number 4 highest rated cable news network. If they want to surpass lowly rated number 3 MSNBC, hire Kari Lake, give her a very good time slot, and they would explode in ratings. And now's the time to do it, to make the offer. She's very hot right now. She'll always be popular, but it would be, if they don't offer her a job, I've been watching Newsmax. I'm a fan of Newsmax. I support Newsmax. Greg Kelly, I think, is the best show in cable news. But every once in a while, I see something over there that makes me think, what's going on? Like when they have Pence on. Why would you have Pence on? Why would you damage your brand, Newsmax, and have Mike Pence on? He was on Greta's show, and that was probably her call. She probably has some deal where she can have anybody on, and she's got no opinions, she says. So she has Mike Pence on. Mike Pence, that just ticks people off, and they don't come back. All right, good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Oh, hey, Mike.
Yeah, what they're doing with her is even worse than what they did to Sarah Palin. They had some nut job move up there to write a book about.
Yeah, liberal reporter moved next door. Now, a guy, this creepy liberal reporter, I can't remember who he was with. He rented the house next door to Sarah Palin, where he had a direct view of the bedroom window of her teenage daughter. Remember that? And then Todd Palin built a fence to block his view. But Fox News hired Sarah Palin. Remember, she was at the time part of the establishment because she was with McCain.
Right. and the thing is it got so bad that it probably cost her marriage. Cost Sarah Palin her marriage because she recently got a divorce. So I mean. And this Halpern guy that Kari Lake is married, he is a videographer.
Oh, her husband's a videographer?
Yes.
Yeah.
He used to work at the same news station that she worked at before she quit. When she quit, he quit, I guess, and now he's an independent video.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Well, what do you think she'll end up doing, Mike, Kari Lake, at this point? Now that they're out to destroy her life.
I don't know. I don't know if she's going to be too radioactive for somebody to hire.
They don't want MAGA around. And after President Trump and Ron DeSantis, she's probably equal to Ron DeSantis in MAGA support in this country, right? You got Trump, DeSantis, and Kari Lake.
That's the thing. I mean, she could end up doing a podcast.
She's got to do more than a podcast. I got a podcast, but I'm not Kari Lake. Hey, Mike, I appreciate the call. Okay, now, this Republican Congressman, George Santos, that lied about his whole background. Of course, the Democrats want him to resign. He hasn't even been sworn in yet. Let's just read a little bit about this guy. Last week, a New York Times investigation revealed that incoming Republican Congressman George Santos lied about his resume and a lot of other details of his past. He lied about going to college. He never went to college. He claimed to be Jewish. He's not Jewish. He claimed he worked for, was it Goldman Sachs and Citigroup and a bunch of other things, and he's since apologized. And I don't know anything about Santos here, other than what he lied about. And I'm going to tell you this, just based now, something else could come out and I could change my opinion in a minute if I learned something else about Santos. But he lied about working for Goldman Sachs and Citigroup, lied about going to college. He never graduated college. I'm not even sure he went to college. And he said he was Jewish. And then he tried to have some bizarre explanation to his claim of being Jewish. He told two stories. He said he's Jewish, you know, like that show Blackish, he's kind of Jewish. And then he had some story that his grandmother's a Jew and she converted to Catholicism, all kinds of stuff. I don't care that this guy lied about his resume. Based on what I know now, and like I said, you know, something else could come out and I could totally say, okay, I'm done with Santos. But based on what he's lied about now, I support him. I support him. Do you blame him for lying? You know, these people in the political establishment are snobs. How do you get elected to Congress if you didn't work for Goldman Sachs or Citigroup? It's very difficult. A lot of them work for these companies. And not being a college graduate, off the top of my head, I want to say Lauren Boebert didn't go to college. She was a unique situation because she became famous because she confronted Beto on the steps of some speech he was given, and he looked like an idiot because he is an idiot, and she got a little fame there, you know. But when you're when you're in these circles and you're not a college graduate and you're not connected, they don't let you in. They don't let you in. You know, I went to college as an adult. You know, while I was on the air, I'd get off the air and I'd go to school. And it took me a long time to get through college because, you know, I had a job and I had to get up early in the morning. I had a wife and still have a wife, and I had a baby and I was going to college and everything. And people used to call in on the air and make fun of me because I had not graduated college. Now, keep in mind, Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity didn't graduate college, but people would call in and make fun of me that I don't have a college degree, and they'd laugh, they know more. And it took me a long time to get through college. And I used to joke around, I better graduate soon, because if I don't graduate soon, I don't want my daughter to graduate college before me. You know, I used to joke around about it, and I got through it. And then after I graduated college, which was many years ago, and I went to Florida Atlantic University, by the way. I joke around about going to Trump University. I wish I had a Trump University degree. Probably be more valuable than my Florida Atlantic University degree. You know who the most famous graduate, other than me, of course, from Florida Atlantic University, which is a very good school, by the way? Carrot Top. You know Carrot Top, the comedian? He went to Florida Atlantic University. And there is an adult film actress who went there. I can't remember her name. I don't know if she graduated. But and it's a good school, though. It really is, Florida Atlantic University. I'm not embarrassed that I went there. I just joke around about it. But after I graduated college, listeners would call in and like think I was lying. And there was one listener in particular, people wanted to see my degree. That listeners would call, they wanted to see my degree. And you know, and I got a little insulted about that. So I told one listener who was totally obsessed with this, you didn't go, they would laugh, you didn't graduate college, you didn't go to college, you know, they thought they were better than me because they had a college degree. Even though I had one, they challenged it. So I told them, okay, I'll show you my college degree, come in studio, for $200. You give me $200. If I don't have the degree, I'll give you $200. I put and Steve will tell you, I don't gamble. I didn't say I would just show them a degree for $200. I said, if I don't have the degree, I'll give you $200. But when I show it to you, you'll lose. You got to give me $200. And I never heard from them again. But in certain circles, if you don't have a college degree, it's like people think, you know. And a college degree is pretty meaningless these days. It really, really is. If the North Koreans or China did that pulse thing, they got rid of all the electronics, you know, people like me with college degrees, we'd be useless, okay? You know, you need people that actually have skills and know how to do things. Other than, you know, all you learn in college really, unless you go for a very specific degree, all you learn is how to think like a leftist liberal lunatic. And I remember, you know, going to college as an adult was was a very interesting experience because everything's so left-wing and you get all this left-wing propaganda. And I was not always the oldest person in the class, but I was usually one of the oldest people in my class. And, you know, you have to write term papers and things like this to give the liberal professors what they want. And I had a professor who did not tell me until after I got a paperback from him that he was a listener, and he was a liberal jerk, and he gave me an unsatisfactory grade, one much lower than I thought I deserved, and you know, I found out I was talking to Steve about this, about having these liberal professors. He called up on the air and hated Steve and hated me. And then I had to go back to his class for the rest of the term. And he even came up to me and said, well, what do you want to do? And I said, what do you mean, what do I want to do? He says, well, do you want to switch out of my class? I said, well, I've been in here for like a month. I don't even know if I'm past the drop date yet. No. And I got through the class, and I passed the class. And I had another incident, which I'll tell you after the break, with a liberal professor. But this guy, Santos, that lied about going to college, lied about working at Goldman Sachs and Citigroup. I support that guy. That line about being Jewish, you know, that's, didn't he follow the Kanye West thing? Okay, you can get in trouble with that. But I don't blame the guy for lying about these other things on his resume because they would not let him in that exclusive club. Being Hispanic and conservative isn't quite enough to get in that club. He'd have to, they hate MAGA Republican Hispanics. Okay, so we had to pump up his resume to get in. But anyway, we'll take our last break of the hour, come back with some more calls. I got a lot more to talk about. And I'll tell you real quick, this run-in I had with a black liberal college professor. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. And this was brutal for the professor. But, well, they don't like adults going to college. All right, it's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth.
Oh, boy. Oh, yeah, this one. You guys are going to like this one. I don't think you guys heard me tell this. I had this black liberal anthropology professor who accused me of being a racist in class. Mm-hmm. Oh, it didn't work out too well for him, I'll tell you. Because, I don't go around getting involved in political discussions with people at the university, but this one I had to. I'll tell you you'll see when I get back and tell you what happened. You'll find out after the break, Chris. I'll go through it when we get back from the break. Yeah, a rebel, an adult, Yeah, but not in a class. No, I did not pull out a picture. Yeah, we did, Chris. Thanks for asking. Boy, anyone get any exciting Christmas presents? My wife and daughter are the best when it comes to gift giving. They always know, my wife and daughter always know like the perfect gifts to get people. I suck at it. I'm terrible at it. but I did pretty good this Christmas with between my wife and my daughter. I never know what to buy, people.
Make sure you tell him you heard about him on the Steve Kane Show. Think you might have COVID? Have you come into contact with someone who is sick? Are you
You never got anything good? Oh my goodness.
Testing is available at any lab test now of Coral Springs on the southeast corner of University.
Yeah, my wife and daughter, they always know like the perfect gift that you would never think of getting your son. It's amazing. All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show. Now, I've been talking about how Kari Lake is just in all kinds of trouble, right? Katie Hobbs and Maricopa County are going after her for $500,000. They want her to pay their legal cost. And, you know, Mike Lindell, of course, sponsor here of The Steve Kane Show, is financing Kari Lake's entire legal team. Isn't that absolutely amazing? So when you go to MyPillow.com and buy something with our promo code Kane and check out Kane, you're not just supporting the Steve Kane Show, you are, and the great MAGA man himself, Mike Lindell, but you're also supporting Kari Lake, and there's huge deals there. You know, I have the MyPillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets. I have 6 sets of them. 4 of them are regular, and 2 of them are flannel. In the last few nights, we've been sleeping on the flannel, and they are, so I love them. I could sleep on the flannel MyPillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets all year long, because like the regular sheets, that 100% Giza Cotton that Mike Lindell uses perfectly regulates your body temperature. Now, the 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets, both regular and flannel, with our promo code Kane, just $29.98. There's all kinds of other great deals there too. All the specials you see at MyPillow.com. You can take advantage of with our promo code Kane and check out the MyPillow that started it all at its lowest price ever, just $19.98 with our promo code Kane. And there's even a huge deal on Mike Lindell's coffee. The My Coffee is 50% off, and Mike Lindell's coffee comes in K-Cups, ground, and whole bean. And not only is Mike Lindell's coffee 50% off, you get a free Go Anywhere Travel MyPillow with your purchase with our promo code Kane. But any special you see at MyPillow.com, take advantage of it with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. And remember, you're supporting us here on the Steve Kane Show, but also Kari Lake, since Mike Lindell is taking care of her legal team. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879, promo code Kane, Kane. So let me just finish up on this thing before we get back to the issues with this lying Congressman Santos that they're trying to run out of Congress by claiming he went to college and did these other things. Just tell you this one last thing, and we're going to tell you these stories about college. But, you know, parents go to great sacrifice to send their kids to college, and what happens so often, they send their kids to college and they come back and they're indoctrinated into liberalism. And luckily, going to college as an adult, you know, that didn't happen to me. And I had this one incident with this black liberal professor who decided he was going to make an example out of me for some reason, and he made a big mistake. And I always, no matter how small or large my class was, if it had 200 people in the class, I was always in the front row. I always sat in the front row, and you know, and this black liberal anthropology professor was talking about affirmative action, which had nothing to do with the course, but you know, they're there to indoctrinate the minds of students, and he was just going on and on about affirmative action, and this kid at the back of the class said, you know, we're beyond this stuff. Why do we need affirmative action today? We're beyond this stuff. And this professor made a mistake that I promise you he never did again, and he remembers it to this day. He was so humiliated. So this kid in the back of my class, the professor's going on and on about how we need affirmative action. Kid in the back of the class says, hey, Dr. Liberal Jerk, no, you know, he had a real name, but why do we need affirmative action in America today? We're so far beyond that, blah, blah, blah. The professor, since I'm in the front row, he comes up to me and puts his hand on my shoulder. He put his hands upon me. He put his hand on my shoulder, and he says the reason, and he's looking at the class, and he says the reason we need affirmative action, and then he took a dramatic pause. He looks down at me. So now he's talking directly to me, because people that look like you will only hire people that look like you, which means I'm a white guy, I'll only hire white people. And he's looking down at me, and he's got this smile on his face because he thinks he's so brilliant. And I said, no, that's not true. And then he goes on and he still has his hand on my shoulder. And this class had over 200 people in it, huge class. It was anthropology, 101, so huge class. And he says, all the studies show that people that look like you, now keep in mind, he's the one that's doing racial profiling here, right? Because he singled me out as this white boy. He said, all the research shows that people like you will only hire people that look like you. And I said, that's not true. And he still has his hand on my shoulder. And I talked about this the next day on the air. So if you're a longtime listener, this was many years ago, you may remember this. I just haven't talked about it in a while. And he never took his hand off my shoulder. And then he says to me, what makes you think you're so different when every study shows that people that look like you, right, code word for white, will only hire people that look like you? What makes you think you're so special? And I said to him, and I couldn't believe it. This is a class over 200 people. He's singling me out, and I'm thinking this jerk doesn't know who he's dealing with. And I didn't even think about this. I just gave him the answer. I said, my daughter's black. I don't care about skin color, and my family don't care about skin color. And then it was like the sound of silence in this massive lecture room, and someone in the very back of the class said, you don't know what to say to him now, do you, Professor? Oh, my goodness. I thought I was done. Now, I got an A in that class, and I thought I was done because that was even before the midterms. And I didn't go through college starting trouble, but when the guy's calling me a racist, what am I supposed to do? Oh, my goodness. So you got to be careful where you send your kids to school is the moral of that story. But these liberal professors they're just the worst. But anyway, getting back to this guy, Santos, I know, it was hilarious. Oh, my goodness. I almost didn't tell that story on the air the next day because of that one liberal professor that I dealt with. He gave me a C on a paper. And that was such a bad experience with that guy, but it was such a good story, I couldn't tell it. But anyway, this guy, Congressman Santos, that I'm supporting, even though he is a liar, I just don't blame the poor guy. And it says here, the New York Times claims that Santos falsely claimed to have graduated from college, worked on Wall Street. He first said that it was a smear job, that the New York Times was lying. And of course, he since admitted that none of these things he claimed were true. Other journalists began digging into his background. The Forward, a left-wing Jewish news website, reported Santos may have faked his Jewish background, including a story about his family fleeing the Nazis. On Monday, Santos admitted to the New York Post that the New York Times had been substantially correct in its investigation. He said he's not actually Jewish. He actually meant that he's Jewish, Jew-ish, whatever that means. He says, I never claimed to be Jewish. I'm Catholic. But I found my maternal family had a Jewish background. I said I was Jewish. Last month, Santos was celebrated at the Republican Jewish Coalition annual leadership meeting in Vegas. He claimed to be one of 3 Jewish Republicans in the incoming GOP congressional majority. Jeez. I just don't care about this stuff. We need the seat. The poor guy has no family connections. He has no resume. He's trying to get into this elite club. And I'll tell you this. Look at the lies that Biden's been telling since day one. And he was a plagiarized, too. on top of all of his crimes, and look where he's at. So the Democrats who want Santos to resign, I'll support the resignation of Santos if they call on the resignation of Biden for lying for the last 50 years about everything to do with his resume. His entire resume has been a lie, Joe Biden. He's never really told much truth at all about his background. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Our number's toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Steve will be joining us in progress a little later on, and there's a whole bunch more to talk about as well. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll take our top-of-the-hour break, come back with more and your calls after this. Steve Kane Show. Hold on.
First hour.
Yeah. Let's see. There we go.
Outdoor spaces are created. Here's the oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well on Tuesday. The next several hours, so we'll be clearing slightly at about noontime.
Welcome, everyone. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, and everyone like the video. Only like a third of you watching right now, less than a third of you will like the video. So if you've not already done that, like the video. That helps grow the channel a lot. When you like the video, it tells the YouTube algorithm to recommend this video and my other videos to people that have not yet found my channel. So it brings new people here. Yeah, Santos should take a DNA test. And what the heck? You know, Elizabeth Warren's been lying about being an Indian. Oh, really? Savage coming back? I'm not a big Michael Savage fan. I don't think he's that good.
We're seeing some very light buildups on Southern Boulevard eastbound coming out of the acreage. More traffic right
Let
now.
me see.
North and southbound passing Lake Worth Road. This report is sponsored by Unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at Unbound.org. That's traffic. I'm Chris Barr.
Here's your true oldies ABC News update.
I don't know. Maybe he's in a Jewish district. I have no idea. But, you know, like we have a liberal congresswoman here. I'll talk about, I was going to bring this up, but we ran out of time. I'll tell it when we get back, so I don't tell it twice. Steve Kane Show. Hey. Well, you know, I was talking to a caller on Friday, you know, and she didn't make a lot of sense to her when I said this, but Christians are Jews. Christianity is Judaism. It's kind of morphed into a separate religion, but Christianity is Judaism. By the way, Pete Hegseth has an incredible series on Fox Nation I was watching yesterday. He went to Israel and is going to all the sites in Israel where Jesus went. It's amazing, with his personal pastor. I'm not sure what the name of the special is. I've forgotten what it's called. Can't remember what it's called, but it's on Fox Nation with Pete Hegseth. It can be hard to find. There's not much on Fox Nation. Mm-hmm. Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane Show. Hold on.
Must be 21 or older to gamble. Must be 18 for poker and racing. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
This is Staples.
So rumor has it that Staples has everything I need to ship.
We have all the shipping supplies and services you need.
Boxes?
Yep.
Mailers?
Yeah, and we have UPS. You're in store.
Huh. What will Staples think of next?
Right?
No, seriously, I'm asking. What will they think of next?
Staples is your one-stop shipping destination. Now get 50% off shipping boxes, mailers, or tubes when you buy 5 of the same item in-store or online.
You know, if you've been calling in, you know, you have to hold on. I put some callers on hold. Sometimes people get confused because I don't screen the calls. They don't know exactly what's going on. I usually just put people on hold. I don't talk even you see me answer the phone, I'm not talking to them. I just make sure someone's there. Then I put them on hold. And some people that are new don't know what's going on. They get a little confused. Christianity is Judaism. How is it not Judaism? Jesus is the Jewish Messiah.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Callers on hold, stand by. You know, I just wanted to mention one thing about this guy, Santos. People, why would he claim to be Jewish? Well, I don't know. I don't know anything about him or his district. I don't know if he's in a Jewish district. Now, here in South Florida, we have one of the worst people that's been in Congress in decades, Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Now, she's Jewish. She doesn't fake it. She's Jewish. Debbie Wasserman Schultz. I don't like her. She's a terrible person. I remember there was during the Obamacare era, Hobby Lobby stood up to Obamacare. Remember this? And there's a closed, well, like it's a Hobby Lobby now, but for many years it was an abandoned Kmart. And Hobby Lobby was moving into this abandoned Kmart in Debbie Wasserman Schultz's district, and she was trying to stop the Hobby Lobby from moving in because of their Christian beliefs. She's so liberal with the Obamacare because they wouldn't pay for abortion. Remember Hobby Lobby? I've never seen a member of Congress try to stop job creation in their own district up until that point. Later on, AOC did it with Amazon, which was insane. But anyway, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, she hyphenates her name, which if she were in the service, like if she were in the military, I don't even think her name wouldn't even fit on her uniform. It'd have to go like in her armpit, Wasserman-Schultz. And the reason that she does that is if she just uses her married name, Debbie Schultz, people think she's German, she thinks. She wants to make sure people know she's Jewish, so she hyphenates Wasserman-Schultz. So sometimes, if you're in a certain area, being Jewish can be a benefit, being Hispanic can be a benefit, being a Christian can be a benefit. And this guy, Santos, I feel bad for the guy, but I give the guy a break. Let's see what he does moving forward. All right, our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. We're here, of course, live 2 days after Christmas on a cold and chilly South Florida morning. I was expecting to get snow with as cold as it's been and also raining at the same time. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. It's Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug.
Man, I'm telling you, this Kari Lake, what a great person. I mean, she lost the case, but now at least she's trying to appeal it because the decision that judge.
I think she missed the. I could be wrong, but I was looking at the local news in Arizona this morning. They said she missed the appeal deadline. So who knows what they're... I don't know. I don't know what she's doing legally, but Katie Hobbs is out to destroy her financially now.
Yeah. My God, what they do to her. I mean, these Democrats are really ruthless. There's nothing that...
Kari Lake, no. I told this to a caller last night. Kari Lake's problem is not the Democrats. Kari Lake's problem are the Republicans. Remember, she's MAGA. That's why they're out to destroy her. Yeah. Yeah. All right, Doug, take care. Thanks for the call. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Dave. I'm calling from California.
Yes. Here we go. Nah, I don't know anything about it. I don't know. Open Phones is on Friday. okay? You can call in on Friday with that, but not today, okay? On Fridays, it's open phones. You can call about anything that's on your mind. The rest of the week, you've got to talk about the topic Steve brings up or I bring up. All right, now, the great Sebastian Gorka. You guys fans of Sebastian Gorka? He's awesome. He's awesome. We've had him on the show, Sebastian Gorka. He worked for the greatest president ever, Donald Trump. And he was on with Eric Bolling on Newsmax. And Sebastian Gorka said, this is his exact quote, "The GOP must primary rhinos out of existence." And, you know, we're at a point now, he's right. We're at a point now where this is what's got to happen. And I'm going to take what Gorka said a little further. And you're welcome to call in and agree or disagree with this. And he's talking about, of course, in the primaries. I think we're better off, this will sound nuts maybe, but I think we're better off losing a general election to a Democrat than winning it with an anti-Trump, anti-MAGA rhino. What are your thoughts on that? Are we better off, like if Mitt Romney loses re-election to a Democrat, would that bother you? Wouldn't bother me. Now, you know, I want Trump when he comes back in a second term to have the majority in both houses. But purging ourselves of rhinos, even if a Democrat wins in the general election, you know, Hillary Clinton said, what difference does it make? And if we tell ourselves, well, you know, only a rhino can win, and a rhino, it's such a mild descriptor. Republican in name only is what it stands for. It's so mild. A rhino is a fake Republican. They're not even a Republican. Look at Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell supports all these liberal omnibus and Ukraine funding things, and he's worse than they are because he pretends to be something he's not. Liz Cheney, rhino. Yeah, rhino, I call them rats, Republicans against Trump, but that hasn't really picked up, you know. I try to get that going, but it hasn't really picked up. Rats, Republicans against Trump. When you have a rhino in office, it just makes you feel good. Oh, well, we got a Republican in there at least. Not really. You have a fake Republican. A rhino is basically a Democrat. So, now again, we want the majority in both houses when Trump comes back. So, you know, I understand with that, you know, but that aside, are we better off purging ourselves of rhinos by losing seats in the long run to Democrats? And I'll say yes, because, you know, what they really are still trying to do, all right, they're trying to destroy Trump. We understand that. I do believe they are going to arrest Trump. He's done nothing wrong. It's a complete setup. It's like, you know, remember Internal Affairs with Richard Gere? He was setting people up for crimes, or Michael Chiklis and The Shield and all of that. I mean, you know, you got a lot of bad cops that are setting Trump up. I believe they're going to arrest him. But what they want to do is they want the MAGA movement to go away, and their fantasy is for MAGA Republicans to start a third party. We don't want to do that. We want to do what Sebastian Gorka says. Primary rhinos out of existence. And if that means losing elections, fine. Fine. If we don't, we're never going to get rid of them. This, you know, what's going on right now isn't about 1 or 2 election cycles. This is a long-term plan. And I don't mean just in the House and the Senate. You know, at local levels, this has to happen too. We got to get rid of rhinos at the local level running political parties. Like, for example, here in Palm Beach, we have the largest Trump club in America, Club 45. And it was founded by a lot of good people, including a friend of mine, Joe Budd, who ran for Congress and sadly lost. But he got my vote. And Club 45 does a lot of good work. They meet over by the airport in Palm Beach. It's huge. President Trump has spoken there in person. And it's right, literally, just due west, just a short drive where they meet at from Mar-a-Lago. But I would rather see the Club 45 people take over the local Republican clubs and get involved and get some MAGA people elected to the local offices here in South Florida and purge from our local Republican leadership rhinos. We got to get rid of rhinos at every level. You know, and I'm prepared to lose elections for a long time to purge ourselves of rhinos. What difference does it make to be in control if it's a rhino party, a fake party? It's an illusion that just makes you feel empowered when really you're not. All right, our number is toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you're calling from, 888-465-2631. All right, I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-CANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig on Oldies 95.9 and 106.9.
Steve Kane Show. Hold on. Well, good morning, Lori. Welcome. Make sure you like the video, guys. If you're new, subscribe to the channel. You'll love my content. I have a new podcast uploaded today, too, with my wife. Took a bit of a break on the podcast over Christmas. Steve Kane Show. No, yeah, I already told you not. No, no. Go back to the bottle. The reason there's more trolls, because the kids are out of school. Like that guy there, some drunken teenager. I mean, I could have fun with him, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna be like Ben Shapiro and beat up children, and then let people think that I'm so great. Yeah, this kid, he's called 3, 5, 6, 7 times in the last. Less than 20 minutes. Bray, California. Anybody heard of Bray, California? Where's Bray, California? Is that how you pronounce it? B-R-E-A? What, I should, Brea? Oh, Brea. Okay.
It's like towards the bottom of California.
Oh. Oh, it's near LA. Oh, like La Brea. Brea, yes. Yes.
On the air since 1977. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. I just looked out the window. It's still raining. My goodness. It's been raining a lot lately. I'm shocked we haven't had snow, but I'll tell you what, with all this rain, if you've got a wet spot on your ceiling, you've got a leak in your roof, and you want to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting. He's a good MAGA guy, and he will never sell you a roof you do not need. He covers the entire state of Florida. He works on every type of structure, single-family homes, condos, apartment buildings, HOAs, homeowners associations, commercial property. He even does church roofs. And he also works on every type of roofing material that is known to man. And he covers the entire state of Florida. And if you've got that wet spot on your ceiling, you got a leak in your roof, you want to take care of it. And if you just need a simple repair, that's what Tom Laporte is going to do. Because like I said, he'll never sell you a roof you do not need. Give him a call. Now, this number rings directly to Tom's cell phone, okay? 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaContracting.com. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes, thank you. Clear your throat next time when you're on hold still. You're on the air, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, here we go. Here we go. The liberal response. You want to clear your throat again and communicate that way? Maybe that's their language. Oh, my goodness. Holiday week, people. Sounds like I wasn't the only one drinking over Christmas. Oh, my goodness. Some days we've got great calls, and then today, you know, you got to make the best of your materials, and the materials I have today to work with are Now, the overturning of Roe v. Wade by President Trump is just huge. You know, when President Trump finishes his second term, no matter what he does in his second term, and you put that together with all the great things that he did in his first term, nothing will equal the overturning of Roe v. Wade. You know, the overturning of Roe v. Wade is huge. How many lives will be saved by that? How many has he saved already? It's impossible to put a number on it. It really, truly is. You know, we had Dick Morris on the show a few times, and I told Dick Morris, I said, I think President Trump, his biggest accomplishment throughout his entire legacy will be the overturning of Roe v. Wade. Now, Dick Morris disagreed with me on that, which I was a little surprised at. But Dick Morris is an old Democrat, so he, you know, may have some Democrat views when it comes to that topic. I don't know. I've never really heard him talk too much about abortion, but that's huge. And, you know, one of the great things about it is not just the millions of lives that President Trump will save, because he's saving lives every day, forever in this country. It's amazing what he's done. That's one of those things that I never thought would happen. Just like what he was doing at the border. Yeah, I remember the border issue. We didn't talk about it too much. Years ago, before Trump came down the escalator, a lot of conservative shows talked about the southern border every single day. That's all they talked about. Bill O'Reilly was doing a radio show then, and Michael Savage, and that's all they talked about. And we didn't. And a lot of times callers would call in and say, why are you guys not talking about the southern border? And we would tell them something that they didn't like hearing, but it was true until Trump came down the escalator. It's a waste of time to talk about because no one is going to do anything about it. And that's kind of how I feel about it today. You know, no one in power is going to do anything about it. Not until Trump comes back in his second term. No one's going to do anything about it. There's too much money to be made. You know, we were talking about last week these groups, these companies that the government's hiring to rehouse and relocate the illegals all over America. There's so much money being made. How much money are they making just in the cages alone that they're putting people in down there at the southern border? There's a lot of money to be made. And all that money is being made, of course, by donors to both political parties. But we didn't talk about it because before Trump, no one was going to do anything about it. And it was really a waste of time to talk about it. And most people on the radio that were talking about it at the time, I always thought it was kind of like a time killer. Like, okay, slow news day, or like now, it's a holiday week, right? Everybody's off this week except us because, you know, it's when you're doing a radio show, when it's a holiday period, news gets a little slow and all that stuff. So a lot of these guys, I need off for the holiday. No, they just don't like working, right? It's hard work during a holiday time. And when the news is slow, a lot of these people, Savage and others, I always felt like they went to the border as a way to have something to talk about and get people calling in on slow news days. But when Trump came down the escalator, things changed because He built the wall, almost finished it, and Mexico did pay for it. So he did. He actually, we knew he was going to do something, and he did it, and he fixed the whole situation. Right now, nothing's going to be done. But Roe v. Wade, we always talked about the abortion issue because that involved saving the lives of unborn children. But we never talked too much about overturning Roe v. Wade because that seemed to me to be like something that's just never going to happen. I just thought, the Supreme Court had ruled, and that's the way it's going to be, and that's just not where the heart and mind of the American people are. And then Trump comes in and gets all these great Supreme Court justices up there, and boom, he overturned Roe v. Wade. It's amazing. Who would have ever thought that would have happened? And what's also amazing about the overturning of Roe v. Wade is how little protest there was to it, because those who support abortion on demand are much smaller in number than you would be led to believe by the media. The media are a bunch of degenerates and perverts, just like Hollywood, like that couple on Good Morning America. They both got taken off the air, and every time you see them, they're out somewhere with their hands all over each other. They're scummy people in the media. And abortion is a way to keep your figure in check. So the media give you a false impression. Well, there's a story today. The FDA has changed the label of Plan B, which is the morning after abortion pill. I'll just read you the headline here. FDA changes label of Plan B, emergency contraception, to clarify it does not cause an abortion, after the drug was targeted by pro-life advocates following the Roe v. Wade ruling. See, that was one thing this has been an unknown, right? A lot of states like Florida, there's all kinds of rules. What about the morning after pill? And this was shocking to me because I've been married a long time, so these things I don't notice. But I did not realize that these abortion pills are not just over the counter. I knew that, but they actually have them out on the shelves. And at the Walgreens that I shop at, it's in the women's section where all the hair products are, directly across from like hair gels and stuff. I just can't believe it. Now, of course, you can't just take it off the shelf. It's behind some glass with a key. So you got to find some worker to open it up. So you got to go to someone and say, excuse me, some teenage kid or something. I need the abortion pill. I might be pregnant and I need an abortion. And then a kid just opens it up and you get your abortion pill. And then you buy. I didn't realize how easy it was to do that. And by the way, I don't think there's an age restriction. But this is what's going on now. George Orwell's 1984. They're changing the meaning of words. And Plan B does cause an abortion because Catholics believe, and not just Catholics, a lot of pro-life people believe that life begins at conception. So if you are interrupting that process with the Plan B, the conception's already happened. This is not like a condom. A lot of people don't really like condoms because that's stopping things. This is beyond that. So no, Plan B does cause an abortion, but they're trying to change the meaning of what it is to try to get like a little loophole going on there. Well, let them continue to change the meanings of words and phrases. We're on to them and we know exactly what they're doing. All right. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour and be right back.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Okay. Let's see here.
The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the oldies forecast.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
True oldies traffic check.
In the Palm Beaches, we're actually free at this time. Turnpike northbound between the Beeline Highway and seeing some very light buildups on Southern Boulevard eastbound coming out of the acreage. No traffic right now on Military Trail north and southbound past the Lake Worth Road. This report is sponsored by Unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. They can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support could go at Unbound.org. That's traffic. I'm Chris Barner.
The Steve Kane 2023 MAGA Cruise is right around the corner. We leave January 28th on the Celebrity Apex out of Fort Lauderdale. First stop, San Juan, Puerto Rico. Then Tortola in the British Virgin Islands. And then St. Kitts. With exclusive events just for our group. Fine dining together every night. Cocktail parties, shore excursions, onboard activities, and a whole lot more. On the line is Ian from Cruise and Travel Deal. Ian, why should listeners book right now?
I blocked this group space during COVID during the height of the pandemic.
That's what I'm going to talk about when we get back. There's an update on Marjorie Taylor Greene supporting Kevin McCarthy. I'm going to go through this article when we get back. She's done some permanent damage to herself. And there's some updates on stopping Kevin McCarthy from being Speaker. What do you think? Yes or no? Not what you want. What you think is going to happen? Are they going to be successful in stopping McCarthy? Yes. Or will they be? Well, let me reword the question. Make it easier. Will Kevin McCarthy be the Speaker? Yes or no? Yes or no? Will he be the Speaker when this is over? That makes it easier. Yes, Mike says yes. No. Not what you want, what you think is going to happen. Not what you're hoping for. I don't want him to be Speaker. Everyone says yes, pretty much. Some no's. Rhino.
When people go to the dentist, they think of the pain, but the biggest pain is the cost. Brighton Dental Care.
This is a no-spill mug. That's we got to have at a radio station.
Just about to say that. It's really good.
Yeah.
4633 954 922 4633. That's 954 922 4633. BrightonDentalCare.com.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show, celebrating 45 years on the air.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. You know, New Year's is this weekend, and then right around the corner is Valentine's Day, and you want to look great. Any lab test now of Boca has expanded right next door to Forever Youth, where they have everything you need to look younger, take years off your appearance, and maybe even look better than you did when you were young. They have all those Botox and Juvederm fillers to get rid of the lines and wrinkles in your face and forehead and everything else, so your skin looks younger, that's for sure. They also have chemical peels to help with the all that scarring that you get and all that sun damage and everything. And everything you need to look younger, look better, they have it at Forever Youth, right next door to any lab test now of Boca in the Sandalwood Plaza, where the Western Beef is. But they have the Cool Sculpting Elite, which is absolutely amazing. It's FDA approved. It permanently freezes away your fat cells. It's 100% non-invasive. Does everything liposuction does, but a little bit more, and it does it without that very violent, bloody surgery that you go through with liposuction. Because not only do they freeze away the fat cells, they sculpt your body so that the part that they're ridding you of fat in looks the way that you want it to look. And it works on all areas of your body that have fat. Of course, your stomach, your gut, your love handles. If you've got double, triple, quadruple chins, you can see your neck. It works there as well. The back, if you got fat on your back, fat on the back of your arms. Steve calls them bat wings. I don't like saying that because it's so gross. It puts that image in my mind. But it works. The Cool Sculpting Elite works there as well. Give them a call. And on all of the things they're offering at Forever Youth, there's a discount if you mention you heard about them on the radio. 717-8081. And they're located right next door to Any Lab Test Now of Boca, south of Palmetto Park Road, north of Hillsborough, on the east side of 441 State Road 7 in the Sandalwood Plaza where the Western Beef is. 561-717-8081. 561-717-8081. All right, now we have an update, a pretty big detailed update on Marjorie Taylor Greene and what's going on with Kevin McCarthy. And, you know, MAGA Republicans do not want Kevin McCarthy to be the speaker. He's a rhino. He is a traitor to President Trump. He betrayed Madison Cawthorn. He's betrayed Madison Taylor Greene in the past. He was conspiring with Liz Cheney and Pelosi to remove President Trump from office after January 6th and make Pence the president. Remember that? There were recorded conversations of this. This guy's bad news, Kevin McCarthy. I know he's trying to act all MAGA butch right now because he wants to be speaker and he thinks he's entitled to it. So he's lying to us and pretending to be something he's not. And Marjorie Taylor Greene supporting him is upsetting a lot of people. And what I was talking about yesterday, what's going on with her? Now we know, and I believe Marjorie Taylor Greene is being blackmailed. That's my opinion, based on what I've seen. Now, about a month and a half ago, there was a story in the Daily Mail with photographs that was very detailed, that she accusing Marjorie Taylor Greene of having an affair with Brian from Right Side Broadcasting. They denied it, but he was going into her house with his suitcases. He went home with her to the district and was driving around town, and he's going through a divorce now too. And there's a lot of stories about Marjorie Taylor Greene. They leave out Brian from Right Side. They talk about these two other guys from the gym, these gym rats that she's been hooking up with. One of them is some Karma Sutra sex guy, and they're both weirdos, but they leave out Brian from Right Side Broadcasting in every story about Marjorie Taylor Greene and affairs. I think she's being blackmailed. And that doesn't mean that she's done something beyond the affairs, which are pretty bad if you're a conservative Republican. I think if I were having an affair with someone from Right Side Broadcasting, you in this audience would take issue with it, especially if it was Brian. Oh my goodness, an affair and it's gay. That'd be really scandalous. But if you found out I was in an affair with Liz Willis, you'd be like, what's the matter? You'd be pissed, wouldn't you? Yeah. And when someone's going through a divorce, they can get very messy, very nasty, and very expensive. And they very well could be blackmailing her with Brian from Right Side Broadcasting if the story of them having an affair is true. And there's something going on there. Marjorie Taylor Greene is as MAGA as anyone could possibly be. For her to support Kevin McCarthy with a passion like this is insane. Trump's kind of playing both sides of it with Kevin McCarthy, just in case he wins, and he doesn't want to totally alienate the guy because he's going to have to work with him. Okay, he's running for president. I get it. But what's going on with Marjorie Taylor Greene, she is becoming a very, very outspoken activist for Kevin McCarthy. It's one thing to say, well, if he gets it, I'll support him. Okay, playing both sides. She's not doing that at all. And there are some other Republicans, like Matt Gaetz and others, that are very vocal in their support for anyone other than Kevin McCarthy. And I'll tell you, her and Matt Gaetz were tight, going on tour together, speaking engagements around the country. So there's an article here in the Daily Beast, which is a liberal rag, but yeah, there's some true information here that needs to be heard that's not being reported on Fox News because they're all in love with Kevin McCarthy on Fox News, him and Karl Rove and all these snakes. So I'm going to read this article from the Daily Beast. The Daily Beast is very liberal, so their word choice and the phrases they use are very liberal. These are not my words, just so you know. Far-right Rep. Andy Biggs, Republican from Arizona, accused Marjorie Taylor Greene of having crossed a Rubicon, which means a point of no return, after she slammed Republicans who intend to vote against Kevin McCarthy's speakership. So she's becoming like an activist for him, who's not just voicing support, she's out there going after people that are not supporting him. The remarks made by Biggs come as the race for the Republican House speakership intensifies, with potshots being doled out by competing GOP factions. On one side of the divide, Republicans have a Never Kevin 5. Have you heard of the Never Kevin 5 before? First time. Fox News shutting the story out. On one side of the divide, Republicans have a Never Kevin 5. That includes Biggs, Republican Bob Good, Matt Rosendale, who's from Montana, Ralph Norman from South Carolina, and Matt Gaetz from Florida, attempting to stop Kevin McCarthy's speakership victory. That anti-McCarthy GOP opposition force has since found themselves locking horns with a familiar face and once a close ally, Marjorie Taylor Greene. In an op-ed for the Daily Caller last week, Marjorie Taylor Greene wrote, "Lying to the base is a red line. And that's what 5 of my closest colleagues are doing when they claim a consensus House Speaker candidate will emerge as they oppose Kevin McCarthy." Last week, Biggs responded to that accusation from Marjorie Taylor Greene, arguing that the Georgia Republicans' latest attack was a step too far. She's kind of crossed the Rubicon there. She's calling us liars and saying we're misleading, Biggs fired back late last week on Lindell TV in an interview with Emerald Robinson, who used to be at Newsmax. Over the last week, the war of words has only grown more public, not only between fellow members of Congress, but also as far-right pundits wade into the back-and-forth argument. On Friday, the Daily Beast reported members of the far-right, that I told you, the liberal paper. Matt Gaetz is not far-right, he's just a conservative. The Daily Beast previously reported that members of the far-right have now begun turning on Greene over her vocal support of McCarthy. Marjorie is not America first, but regrettably a faker and a liar who has raised millions claiming she would impeach Biden, and now backs a man for speaker who refuses to impeach Biden, conservatives have said. And the speakership vote is on the 3rd of January. Now, having say over who they pick for speaker for you and for me is like trying to have a voice in your homeowners association meeting. We don't really have much of a voice. They don't care. And Kevin McCarthy, he was like an intern and staffer in Congress before he was in Congress. So, he's been working for this his entire adult life. He's been working towards this. And chances are he's going to be the speaker. But he tried to remove, he was involved in discussions to remove President Trump from office and make Pence president after January 6th. That alone is enough to say this man should not be speaker. We really need a process. I've talked about this many times over the years. We need a process like the Catholic Church has, right? The Catholic Church can excommunicate people when they do things that are not in alignment and communion with the Roman Catholic Church. We need a similar thing in the Republican Party where we can excommunicate Republicans like Kevin McCarthy trying to remove President Trump as president and make Pence president, or Mitch McConnell, who actively works against Republicans running for office around the country in the midterms, and then supports the Democrat omnibus bill, et cetera, et cetera. We need to have a process like that inside the Republican Party. But we'll take our last break of the hour. When we come back, I'd like to hear from you on the phones. What do you think about this? Is Marjorie Taylor Greene is she being blackmailed or bought off? Blackmailed or bought off? It's one or the other. I think she's being blackmailed. I'd like to hear what you think. Will Kevin McCarthy be the speaker? Some people are talking about Steve Scalise. Now, Steve Scalise is hard to oppose. That Bernie Sanders supporter tried to kill him. He got shot, so he's got some credibility with all that. And I don't know if Steve Scalise would be better than Kevin McCarthy, but I know Steve Scalise was not involved in a conspiracy to remove President Trump from office and make Mike Pence president. I know that. So that's a definite improvement. Will Kevin McCarthy be the speaker when this is over on January 3rd? Yes or no? What are your thoughts? I think there's some blackmail probably going on that has to do with her and this alleged affair with Brian from Right Side Broadcasting. And the reason I keep focusing in on that, because a lot of people are DMing me and things about this. Why do you keep talking about this? Because in every story about Marjorie Taylor Greene, they talk about her having affairs with two guys from the gym, but there has not been a mention of Brian from Right Side. They have photographs of him taking his suitcases out of her car into her house, okay? You know, that's never mentioned in any of the stories since the original. That's why I keep focusing on that. And the blackmail, if it's true, could involve him and his divorce. I think she's in love with him. I've seen them together. She was like a correspondent for Right Side the last few months of the Trump rallies and everything in the midterms. And if she's in love with that guy, and I think she is, she wants him to have a very good and favorable divorce settlement. And there's all kinds of things they could be blackmailing her with involving her lover, if that story is true. All right, 1-888-GO-CANE-1 is the number. Callers on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig, back after this. Steve Kane Show. Hold on. I hope it's not true, too, but, you know, she's against Matt Gaetz's position. I mean, this is nuts. Someone sent me a DM, Michael, watching on YouTube. Brian, stop bitching about the Florida weather. Give us a break. Here in Michigan, it was damn cold. That's worth bitching about. We're on 6 radio stations here in Florida. So our primary audience are our radio listeners. You know, the YouTube audience is like little tiny. There's over 100,000 people listening to the show every day in the morning here in South Florida. And so, you know, my duty is first to them, sadly, when it comes to such things. Not you guys, sorry.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. The Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. That's right, on the radio since 1977. Are you in pain? Then call Dr. Appleton. Take advantage of the no-charge consultation to Steve Kane Show listeners, and he'll talk to you about his laser wave pain treatment and how it can rid you of your pain. He's treated me twice for 2 different types of pain. One, my arthritis pain. After one treatment, gone. It's now been months, and it has not returned. That's amazing. 2 treatments with my knee pain. That wasn't arthritis. That was just from my skateboard injury. 2 treatments. Months ago. Months! Not only am I pain-free still, the pain has not returned, not once. It's absolutely amazing. The laser wave pain treatment, it works. I know it works because it's worked on me in 2 different parts of my body on 2 completely different types of pain. And it can work for you too. Arthritis, bursitis, hip pain, knee pain, neck pain, lumbar pain, strains, sprains, tinnitus, tennis elbow, stenosis. If you've got pain, Dr. Appleton and his laser away pain treatment can help. And you know what? It's a free consultation if you're a listener to the Steve Kane Show, and appointments are not necessary. In fact, walk-ins are welcome because Dr. Appleton understands when you're in pain, you need help, you need relief, you need it now. It's completely non-invasive and painless. No drugs. You know, medications just cover up the pain. They don't do anything to repair the damage. Give him a call, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. He's also open on Saturdays, and walk-ins are welcome even on Saturdays. I usually go in on Saturdays, and I never have an appointment. When I've gone in, I just show up, and Dr. Appleton is happy to see you, and he loves ridding people of their pain. 954-973-0710. So I was talking during the break because, you know, why do I keep focusing in that she's being blackmailed? Because what she is doing, what Marjorie Taylor Greene is doing with Kevin McCarthy is completely out of character for her. In fact, what Marjorie Taylor Greene is doing in supporting Kevin McCarthy is as out of character as if she became pro-choice abortion. I know that sounds crazy and extreme, but it's true. It's that much of a change. She is not just saying, well, I'm going to vote for him because he looks like he's going to win. She is not an advocate for him in the press, and she's attacking people like the great Matt Gaetz who are supporting anyone but Kevin McCarthy. And I keep focusing in on Brian from Right Side Broadcasting. I don't know if the story's true or not. The Daily Mail had a massive story about their affair, and the stories about her never include that one. They talk about the two guys at the gym she's rumored to have hooked up with, but never Brian from Right Side. I find that strange. Unless they prove that story was not true, which it may not be true, but they had a massive story about it. Something's going on with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Also, Kevin McCarthy, look what he did to Madison Cawthorn. Madison Cawthorn did not play ball. And look what happened. He ran him out of Congress, made sure, and he used FTX crypto coin to do it from Bankman-Fried. Imagine that, Kevin McCarthy, which shows he's in league with the Democrats because he got that FTX money to do it. But he set Madison Cawthorn up and got these bizarre, disgusting videos of him released to the media. There was one of him in his truck driving around, and a guy put his hand on his leg, between his legs. Remember that? I don't even know if he could feel it, but the guy was filming it and showed it. And then there was some weird thing he did in the hotel room too that didn't help a lot. That kind of did him in. Kevin McCarthy did that because Madison Cawthorn came out and he said a Republican that I respect invited him to a sex party in Washington. That was the end of it. Remember that? That's right. And Kevin McCarthy could very well be telling Marjorie Taylor Greene, don't let it happen to you what happened to Madison Cawthorn. And Madison Cawthorn, it's being rumored that he may run for Congress again here in Florida. Kevin McCarthy will do everything he can to make that not happen, and if it does, be unsuccessful. And as Speaker of the House, he'll have a lot of juice to do it. He'll be the highest ranking elected Republican. He'll have a lot of juice. And members of the House are always in a very high pressure mode. They're always running. In the Senate, they're in there for 6 years. That's an eternity. And they figure no matter what they do, it'll be forgotten because the election's so many years off. Members of the House of Representatives are constantly running and constantly raising money because they're up for re-election every 2 years. They never stop running. It's easy to put pressure and scare them. All right, let's go to the phones. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. It's a toll-free call. 1-888-465-2631. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Helen from Kansas.
Oh, Helen. Hello.
I'm doing just great. How are you doing?
Well, I didn't ask you how you were doing. I said hello, but I'm glad you're doing well. But you answered. That means you're not listening to me. You're waiting to talk.
Well, no.
Yeah, that's okay. Anyway, what's on your mind? I'm glad you're doing well.
I'm just fine. Just in case you cared. Okay. How do we know? What does Marjorie Taylor Greene have to be afraid of? Pretty much all the possible dirt that's on her is already out. So
Well, how do you know that? How do you know?
Well, I don't know that.
That's exactly right.
Maybe she's being covert. Maybe she's going to be like a spy for the Republicans on McCarthy.
Yeah, that's wishful thinking. I don't know. If the rumor that the Daily Mail reported in a huge story that she's having an affair with Brian from Right Side Broadcasting, she could be, like I said, she could be protecting him.
Could be. Have you ever wondered, she was swatted at least 2 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Swatting at the door. She's the one that answered the door. What was her so-called good macho husband to protect her?
Well, first off, when the police come, you don't get confrontational, especially in a swatting situation. Well, I don't know what...
Answer the door before he let me go and answer the door.
Well, I think the Marjorie Taylor Greene and her husband have kind of been split for a long time. Have some kind of arrangement. They're getting divorced now.
So maybe she was looking for somebody that has some backbone.
Are you telling me that you're defending an extramarital affair? Because Brian from Right Side is married. He's in a divorce now, but he's married, or was, or maybe still is.
An extramarital affair, but if you've got a husband that won't defend you, when
you don't when you are swatted and the police come to your home, you don't defend yourself. That's how. No, you don't.
my husband would go and answer the door first.
Well, maybe they don't answer the door. Maybe they don't come to the door. But maybe she just happened to answer it first. You don't defend yourself when the police come. Listen, Breonna Taylor and her scummy boyfriend, okay, they thought that when the police come knocking, you defend yourself. You don't defend yourself when the police are the good guys. You don't defend yourself against the police. You surrender. You surrender when they come to your house.
They didn't know for sure that it was the police.
They say, okay.
So why didn't her husband go and answer the door? Men are supposed to be macho.
You don't. Yeah. Uh-huh. Maybe he wasn't home. I don't know if he was home or not. You don't Helen, when the police come and knocking, you surrender. You don't defend yourself.
We've had that happen.
Who's we?
At our door, we let them in, let them snoop around like they do. Bunch of busybodies.
Oh, you don't like the cops? Why'd the police come knocking at your house?
Because our oldest son was having a party out in the pasture. And so...
And what was he... How old is your son at the time?
At the time he was... I think he was 21.
Okay, so you think he was 21. So what was he doing that resulted in the police coming?
Well, there was a lot of kids, uninvited people coming out here.
Oh, so you called the police? Huh? So you called the police?
Oh, somebody else did.
Okay. And what'd you do?
They came knocking at the door. We said, hello, what do you need? What's going on? And they heard that there was some kind of a fight going on out there.
Okay.
Sometimes when kids have parties, they have brawls and fun.
Okay, so someone called and said there was an assault taking place, which is a crime.
They need to come in the house, but we invited them
Yeah.
into the house.
Okay.
wasn't in the house. We didn't even know about the fight.
Oh, so there was a fight. So whoever called the police was doing the right thing.
Well, you know, kids fight, especially when they're having big.
It's not okay. It's not okay to hit other people.
No.
So so there was a physical fight going on at your home on your property.
But it wasn't that big a deal.
Not to you. You weren't the one getting hit. Do you think it was, no one really got hurt? Do you think it might have been a big deal to the person that was being struck?
Also, there were some people coming in, inviting themselves onto the property, to the party, that weren't invited. We didn't even know who they were.
Okay, that happens. Hey, listen, Helen, take care. I'm gonna we're up against the break, so we're at the end of this, but something's just fishy about this whole story. But we're up against the break. I'm not gonna grill you anymore on it. Okay, we'll just forget it happened. But she's not. You don't defend yourself against the cops. You surrender. When the cops come to your door, you surrender. Hands up. What can I do? It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll be back right after this.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by Vic Canales.
We got a seagull next break.
Okay.
Injured recently? Call the Ropes Law Group, where winning is a habit. 561-570-5700. 561-570-5700. Ropes, winning for you and our community. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the oldies forecast.
I don't know. What do you think about Helen's story there? I did ask how she was doing. I thought I just said hello.
You said hello.
I said hello. I said, good morning, you're on the radio. And then I said, hello, Helen. I didn't ask her how she was.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
True Oldies Traffic Check.
The recommended expressways in the Palm Beaches, 95 and 25 north crash free, and largely moving up the speed. Some very light volume on 95 heading northbound passing Lake Worth Road, 95 heading northbound from Deerfield Beach into Northwest. Still going to see the usual delays there, but still not too heavy. Turnpike is moving up to full speed. The service streets are still crash free. Broward County, a multi-vehicle crash now cleared. 95 express lane southbound between Griffin Road and Hollandale Beach Boulevard. This report is sponsored by Compassion International. Drought, war, and rising food prices have doubled the number of families paying.
Oh, boy, oh, boy.
$50 provides a food kit to pay family for a month. Just text the word radio to 97646. That's traffic on Chris Waller.
Correct, Bill. Yeah. No one really got hurt. Well, tell that to the person who got just a little bit hurt, you know. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that's just what we want. That's the last thing you want. There's nothing worse than a radio show with an audience. You ever hear Hannity when he has an audience and he starts talking to the people in person? It's awful. And then they applaud him. Remember he was doing his Hannitizing tour? It was awful. He only had there was one moment where he got his clock cleaned by someone in the audience, so that was pretty good. He had his book out, and the book was filled with typos, apparently, and this guy had highlighted all the typos in his book. It was hilarious. It was hilarious.
People proofread it before?
You would think, yeah.
Someone getting fined for that.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Steve Kane joining us. Hey, Steve. Oh, man. So what's on your mind this morning, Steve? You sound rough. You seemed upset. You seem upset. I just heard a tone in your voice. Yeah, it's possible. I am a paranoid person.
It's interesting. I've been listening to what has gone before, and it amazes me that Republicans, I'm starting to get very nervous about the upcoming races because the Republicans look like they're not going to get it together.
We're talking about the speakership?
It's manifesting itself in that issue, but I hear bickering and all this petty gossip and all this stuff when there are major problems here, and we're looking for people. I think both parties are looking for people that can solve them, but the Democrats are hopeless. They're stuck with Biden, which is a losing hand. It's a great opportunity for the Republicans to break through and to do something and take the lead with all these unsolved problems that exist with the border and all that stuff. And yet all I hear is this petty bickering, like, the National Enquirer, this gossip and, sex talk and all this nonsense. I mean, I just see, it looks like we're going to shoot ourselves in the foot again.
Well, Steve, I think there's a problem making someone speaker who tried to remove Trump from office and make Pence president. That's true. He was on the phone. It was.
Well, first of all, in all due respect, let me throw in my 2 cents here. I think you're mischaracterizing what happened. This was the day of the January 6th.
It was after that. Yeah, it was after January 6th. Yeah.
Concerning that period of time when all hell was breaking loose, and I heard, I've listened a couple of times to the calls that they're talking about, and McCarthy lost his cool for a little period in there and had a weak moment. Didn't look good, and it did look like he
You guys got to call in and tell Steve about Kevin McCarthy.
Over a couple hours.
This is the Fox News influence.
Together, and then he was supporting Trump.
No, Steve, you're wrong. You're wrong. On January 6th, it was reported that he picked up the phone and yelled at President Trump, blaming him, and then about a week later, Steve and I are in different studios, and sometimes there's lag between us. So when we overtalk, it's just because there's like a delay between us. Sometimes there's no delay. Sometimes there's like a millisecond. So anyway. It was a week or so after January 6th that he was on the phone conversation talking about removing Trump and making Pence president. I mean, how can you trust that guy? We were with Trump every second.
It was in the middle of a heated exchange. I forget exactly what was going on at the moment, but it was a flash moment. It was not a protracted campaign or anything like that. And he didn't look good. But on the other hand, I've been following this thing. McCarthy has paid his dues. I hear Republican after Republican get up and saying that. And
on Fox. Okay. He's paid his dues.
Respect and who I know and who I follow, and they have credibility in my mind, and they seem to think that he's put a lot of work into this, spent a lot of time preparing, and that he deserves the shot. And there's nobody else that seems to want it very much.
That's not true. What about Steve Scalise?
What about him?
Well, yeah, Kevin McCarthy.
I watch a lot of television, and I don't.
Paid his dues. Yeah.
I don't see Steve Scalise up there campaigning and saying he wants.
Well. Typically, well, it's been a long time. Yeah.
Activist and wants to get hands-on and wants to change things.
Yeah.
It's put in a lot of work from everything I hear from all.
Oh my goodness, Steve, I got to give you some of that wine I've been drinking this weekend. I did drink yours. You know what? I'll give it to you on the cruise, Steve. The drinks are included on the cruise, so I'll do it on the cruise. In the past, I don't ever recall now, and I'll throw this out to the audience, okay? Because it's been a while since we've been in a situation where we're picking a new speaker as a Republican. But the past speakers we've had, that Snake, Paul Ryan, Newt Gingrich. No, I'm not changing, Steve. I'm not changing. No, I didn't say Newt Gingrich. I said Paul Ryan. I'm not changing the subject, Steve. I just used Snake with Paul Ryan, okay? And I'm not changing the subject. I'm just injecting new ideas that have not been put out. In the past, when we've had speakers up, right? Paul Ryan, Newt Gingrich, Hazard, and then there was that Livingston that fell apart. I don't ever remember. Now, again, I'll throw this out to the audience, and you can tell me whether I'm right or wrong on this. I don't remember these other guys campaigning and saying, I'm going to be it, I deserve it, and it just happened because they had everyone's support. This guy is the only one that I've heard have to try to convince people and blackmail people and do other things to get it. This is unusual. Paul Ryan was the vice presidential nominee for the party. I'm not talking about Paul Ryan, Steve. Yeah.
It's gonna be in chaos again.
Okay. All right. Steve, Kevin McCarthy wants to rid America of MAGA. That's what.
Anything like that?
Well, he rid us of Madison Cawthorn, and he has Marjorie Taylor Greene attacking Matt Gaetz.
You've got everybody attacking everybody, and you're creating chaos. Instead of trying to get the party together, you're trying to tear it apart.
No, I just would rather see someone that didn't want to remove Trump from the White House and make Pence president as our speaker. I think there's a lot of other people there that maybe Republican establishment, but they didn't try to do that. And I also don't trust Republicans from California. We're gonna replace one California speaker from Northern California with another California speaker.
Better. If I didn't know you were better, I would think that you were maybe an agent provocateur.
Well, Steve, I'm trying to just.
Because I know you better. But if I didn't know you better, that's what I...
See, this is what I believe. I believe that Sebastian Gorka is right. We have to purge the rhinos out, and he's the top rhino, Kevin McCarthy, the Judas of Mar-a-Lago. And I'll throw that, but these other speakers, I don't remember them running for the job. They had done, well, a lot of people want it. So did Newt.
Work, and he's putting Newt. What's wrong with Newt?
No. When Newt Gingrich, you're just not listening, Steve. Okay. When Newt Gingrich became speaker, prior to that, they had the Contract for America, and he accomplished that thing, and it was just a given. What the hell has Kevin McCarthy done? Yeah, he paid his dues doing what? Screwing over MAGA people? I don't know what he's done. I don't understand. I've heard them say he's paid his dues. What he's... Either can he. Either can he.
But I'm telling you, he is the man I see addressing the problems and talking about the problems, talking about the investigations, which...
Yeah, he said no impeachment. He said no impeachment of Biden. He said there will be no impeachment of Joe Biden, Kevin McCarthy. He said that. Yeah, many times, yes, for many different things, yes. Yes. Listen, we got to take our break, and but I want to hear from you in the listening audience. I know it's a holiday week; everyone's on siesta, But our numbers: 888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-26 31. We'll take a quick break and be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines.
Oh, that's a new one, too. New rejoin there. All right, welcome back. And on the line, we're joined by Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Hey there, Barry.
Good morning. How are you guys doing today?
Steve and I aren't getting along too well. Hey, Steve, you want to rethink me being the trustee of your trust now? Because we're not getting along very well today. It's okay. Oh, it's okay. Okay, I'll be in charge of dispersing all of your wealth. So, but anyway, Barry, what do you have for us today?
So we're here in the last week of the year, and of course the conversation now goes, for a lot of people into the New Year's resolutions, and so when we're thinking about that, a lot of times people are thinking about things where they might be health-wise, and getting to the gym and things like that, and so one of the things that people do when it comes to doing a resolution, like going to work out, go for a run, go for a walk, is prepare yourself for success. For example, I've seen things where you put your sneakers and put them by the side of your bed and your workout clothes to make it more likely that you're going to get up and do that. So, of course, today we're talking about estate planning, and estate planning, that's one of those things that people put off. People procrastinate when it comes to doing that for many reasons. I mean, one of them is just it's one of those things, we're dealing with end-of-life issues or disability issues and planning for them, but really what we're doing is planning to take care of our family. So in light of the idea of New Year's resolutions and planning ahead and setting yourself up for success, really the only thing, you don't have to put your shoes on the side of the bed, you don't have to do that. Really, all you have to do is pick up the phone and make a phone call and schedule a time to come in and start the process. They say the hardest part of doing anything is getting started. The hardest part of working out is showing up at the gym. So the hardest part, but really it's not that hard, is just picking up the phone and calling our office, and we could schedule you for a free consultation, get the process started, so you could take care of your family and protect the people you love.
Yeah, and it's always yeah.
These little get-togethers we have with Barry on the air, and I do want to say something. I've been working a lot. Barry's been working a lot with me. These are very difficult issues, these end-of-life issues, especially if you have a big and complicated family as I do. And I just want you to know, Barry is an amazing guy. I've been going through all kinds of conflicts, and I've been changing my mind on this and changing. I'm the client from hell, I'll tell you that. And I really apologize for all the grief I've been giving you, Barry. But Barry's got the patience. He listens. He understands. He's been there. He's a caring guy. He's the kind of person you feel you can talk to, and he gives you good advice. He's solid, and he's the man that I trust for these end-of-life issues, and I just want to recommend him very. Think about dying or leaving, and but the fact is, it's one of the inevitabilities of life.
Yeah, and something was going on, I don't know, I don't need to know, I don't want to know, but something was going on. I'm the trustee. I'm the trustee of your trust. But something was going on, and multiple people in your family became very concerned that I was the trustee and not one of them. I don't know what was going on, but we'll hold firm, Steve, because we've got Attorney Barry Siegel. And I just want to mention one thing that Barry Siegel offers that is a big relief to me. I am the trustee on many people's trust. I must be the most trustworthy guy that people know, and or they just don't know about that beach house I have in Portugal where there's no extradition. It's one of those two. But I don't know anything about this. Okay, I just know I'm a trustee. I get a trust. I don't know what to do. And Barry, just real quick, you offer a service that's part of everything that you do. That's amazing. when someone passes, the trust goes into effect. You'll actually meet with me or another trustee so so you can direct them in the right direction to get everything accomplished.
The trustee a free post-death consultation so that, most people who are trustees have never acted as a trustee before and don't have a lot of experience doing it. So, first of all, when we provide the estate plan at the very, very front of the binder, one of the first things when you open it up is a checklist of things that the trustee needs to be able to do upon incapacity or death. And then, of course, it also reminds them that they're entitled to a free post-death consultation so that they have some guidance.
That's right. That's right. Well, listen, it's always a no-charge consultation with the Siegel Law Group. If you mention you heard Attorney Barry Siegel on the radio, you can find them online at SiegelLawGroup.com or call toll-free 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. All right, Barry, we'll talk later in the week. All right, back after this.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All righty, we're back. Only one opening on the board where Attorney Barry Siegel was located, and Steve seems to think that Kevin McCarthy is a good guy. And I'm telling you, he's a snake like Paul Ryan. Okay, all right. Yeah, you and Karl Rove, I think, Steve. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning. This is Richie.
Oh, hey, Richie.
Steve.
Hey, Rich, how you doing?
Well, I think, Steve, this is going to be a mixed phone call this morning. I'm doing okay. This is going to be a mixed phone call. I'm going to agree 150% with you on this one. Andrea yesterday called up, so I owe Brian an apology because I feel I was wrong about Ukraine. And
no. Oh, there you go. See, took the jab. See?
Coffee, because the fact of the matter is, Brian doesn't put. See, Brian's math is off. Brian doesn't realize.
Oh, here we go.
The speaker.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. Richie, Richie, I've heard this ridiculous thing. So if we don't, well, let me finish my sentence, and then you can tell me how wrong I am, please. Okay, this isn't Jeopardy. You don't have to buzz in to get the answer correct. What are you implying? That if it's not Kevin McCarthy, it'll be a Democrat as the speaker?
No, I'm implying it could be somebody more anti-MAGA. You just don't get the fact that most of the Republicans in the Democratic Party are against MAGA.
But Kevin McCarthy is the one who got on the phone with war criminal daughter Liz Cheney and the rest and talked about making Pence president after January 6th.
Ryan, I understand what you're saying.
That's a bad one, Steve. That's a bad one.
I don't like McCarthy, but he can't. He's the only one. Right now, we need organization.
Oh.
It's a total mess. Who the hell do you think is going to... Scalise is endorsing McCarthy. So is the, what's his name? The guy from Ohio. They're all endorsing him. You want a hardliner in there. So do I, but he can't. A hardliner won't have the votes.
Jim Jordan. I would take... Jim Jordan would have the votes. Steve Scalise... I would rather have Steve Scalise than this snake.
But it won't happen. I'm sorry, he won't get the votes either.
All right.
You want a hardliner in there.
A hardliner? You talk like I'm like in the Soviet Union or something. I want a real conservative, not a fake Republican rhino. Not enough. Not enough. So what do you want to do? You want to surrender? So you want to surrender? Yes. Yes. I want to put up a fight. Yes.
You stand your principles and you lose the war.
We'll still have, no matter what, we'll have a Republican speaker. No matter what.
Right. Here's the problem with Steve yesterday. I'm bringing up yesterday. Steve. Yes. I watched all those war films. I watched all those reports with kids getting killed, my emotions went with me. I said, you got to put a stop to this. Putin is a maniac. Okay, the fact is, we don't have the money. We are borrowing money. You think it's money well spent. We borrowed the money and we're broke. This is a different situation. Inflation is out of the roof, and that has everything to do with this bill. That's why they put Zelensky in there.
See, basically, the Capitol building, it's been renamed. It's now the National Bank of Ukraine.
And Steve, we don't have the money. We're broke. The inflation is going to go terrible.
I understand all that. I understand all that.
Money to a war.
Richie, let me ask you a question. Are you saying the only place they can cut is on the war effort? You don't think there's other pork in there that can be cut if they were serious about cutting?
There's a lot of pork.
Yeah. Well, let's
as a closer.
See. Let me tell you. I made a big mistake involving Ukraine, Richie. A while back, I got Steve an Amazon Echo. And from what I understand, all Steve plays on the Amazon Echo is that Zelensky song. You know what I'm talking? What's that song, Steve, that you like? Yeah, I know. Someone told me at your house that he plays that damn song all the time.
Zelensky was the prop to close the deal on this vote. This is an outrageous thing. They slap in the America, but they rallied everybody around Zelensky and passed this humongous piece of garbage. It's
no, the one by the big group from the 90s. I forgot the
every one of us. And I'm not even
name of the
talking
group.
about the money that's going to go to Ukraine. It's everything in that bill. But they used Zelensky as the closing.
I'll try to find it during the break.
Well, let him start out.
All right. Hey, Richie, take care. Thanks for the call. There's only one opening on the board where Richie, the bus driver, was at. Our number, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. We'll go back to the phones when we get back from our bottom of the hour break. One of them may be Andrea because he took a really big jab at Andrea. What did he call her? What did he say? She's emotional? What did he say? I don't know. Well, I don't know. He took a jab and then he said something about Andrea, then he giggled. He went, he like he's trying to, stick it to Andrea there. Figuratively. All right, we'll take our break for the bottom of the hour. We'll come back with your calls. Again, one opening on the board where Richie the bus driver was located at 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We'll be back right after this break. Don't go anywhere.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian.
Oh, yeah. Did the wrong one.
I just saw it lit up.
Yeah. Let me see. There's this one song. Let me see if I can find it. It's 5 for Fighting. One man can save the world. Steve loves that song. That's the song. 5 for Fighting. I used to like 5 for Fighting. Not anymore. No, they're still good. But that song. Can one man save the world? Steve Kane Show. Yeah, hold on. What did Richie say about Andrea? Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane Show. Hold on. What did he say about Andrea? Getting emotional? I forgot what he said. Oh, I forgot what he said. Oh well. No, I don't remember these other guys running for the speakership. It was just kind of assumed. Paul Ryan was Mitt Romney's running mate, so he had, he was nominated by the party as vice presidential candidate, so he walked into that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Make sure you guys like the video. There's a lot more people watching than have liked the video, so make sure you guys like the video. That helps spread the word about this channel a lot. And if you're new, make sure you subscribe. I think we touched on a lot of good topics here. The show has flown by. Thanks, Prancer. The show has flown by. Oh, yes. She's an emotional person who doesn't think logically. Yes. Oh my goodness. Can anyone think of anything Kevin McCarthy has done that's deserving of the... Because that's a common talking point that they have. He's paid his dues. What does that mean? That's what they said about, like, Bob Dole when he ran. He paid his dues. John McCain. He paid his dues. Let's nominate him. No. Yeah. Richie is very emotional. He's emotional. Oh. Got a busy day today after the show, since yesterday was a holiday. That's right. Well, I don't think he paid rent. I think he was staying there for free. Yep, the Eyes Wide Shut party at Frank Luntz's house. I was talking, I know a lot of you may not have been here yesterday because it was a holiday. I saw Top Gun Maverick over the weekend on Paramount. It's pretty good. Steve Kane Show. Hello? Yes. Hold on. Yes, my mother-in-law gave me this hat for Christmas. And a grill. She gave me this hat and a grill. And I needed a grill. Mm-hmm. All right, we'll come back in just a moment. They don't even print up the money anymore. They just add zeros on a computer screen now. I'll never watch that movie. Even, you know, I have the Disney Plus, you know, because the Star Wars shows. When that's all, I'll never get through that whole movie. All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. Yep. Yep.
That is going on than I am. It is infuriating. This last budget, which we gave up on for whatever reason, gave them everything they asked for without a fight. I mean, it infuriated me. That's not the issue. That's not the issue for me. If we're going to spend money in anywhere, the place to spend it is to end this war, and the way to end the war is to do what we're doing, which is whip Putin's ass. And we finally got a strategy that's working. We're beating him into the ground. He's almost ready to give up. And to pull back now would just be a terrible mistake. There's plenty of other fat they can cut off this budget without taking away. I mean, what are we giving these people? What we're giving them is defensive weapons that we have in our arsenal that they can defend themselves, and they're not a sitting duck for the Russians who can blow. They can defend themselves. I mean, that's basically the whole issue here.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no problem with that, and I have to admire. I'm telling you something. It's not just a question of being soft-hearted. I watch these people. They have fought bravely. They have fought valiantly. They have not asked us to put our soldiers on the line. All they wanted
is the money.
Defensive weapons to defend themselves, and I say they deserve it.
Okay, now I do want to tell people this. Okay, the government may not be into saving money, but I know we all are, and that's where EET, our fence and gate repair experts, come in. They'll save you money, and they'll save you money in a whole bunch of ways. One, unlike these other companies around, they actually do repairs on both fences and gates. And I've been telling this to people for a long time. These other companies do not do repairs. That's a fact. I've been through this. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Sometimes you'll have a neighbor and they have a fence that's all messed up or a gate that's all messed up, and you just think they're cheap or lazy. They can't find someone to do the repair. These other companies, you call them and say, we don't do repairs. We just put in new fences, new gates. Yeah, but I only have this one section. We don't do repairs. You buy a whole new fence. But there's just this one. We don't do repairs. They'll hang up on you. Not EET. Now, if you need a new gate and you need a new fence, they'll help you with that. But they'll save you money there as well because they will beat any competitor's price. So if you've got an estimate on a gate, on a fence, they'll beat that estimate. Also, mm-hmm.
They'll do it for you, and they'll do it at the right price.
In fact, with Steve's repair, that was just a small thing, but we've had listeners that have gotten new fencing, including an entire community got their fencing and gating done from EET through this program, and they will beat any competitor's price. Always remember that, okay? And they give free estimates as well. They work on all types of fencing of every type of material, PVC, wood, chain link, iron, aluminum, and if there's others I've not listed, I'm not the fencing guy, they are, they do those too. Give them a call. Here's their number, 561-255-1170. 561-255-1170. All right, we have a full board of calls. I've lost track of who's called in first, last, and everything else. So I apologize. I'll take these calls in the order in which they were received the best I can, but I can't promise that, all right? All right, let's go. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, it's Scott from Margate.
Hey, Scott. Welcome.
To Oldies 96.9.
Welcome.
So I gotta say, first of all, I love the show. I'm kind of a new listener. Found you guys last year, and I'm really enjoying hearing two sides of a debate this morning. I think you guys are great together. I just wanted to say because I've been listening for a while, and sometimes it gets a little old when you know everybody just agrees, and sometimes it's nice to hear opposing points of view.
Absolutely. We take more opposing points of view, and liberals have the guts to call in. But for the most part, we have a few liberals that call in that are brave, but most of them are scared to death.
Well, I got to say, you guys make it easy. You make it easy for callers to call in, and you're very easy to talk to. But I got to say, 99% of the time, I agree with you, Steve. You're usually, when you two have a debate going on, I'm always on your side. But I got to say, I think I agree with Brian on this one.
Well, you don't have to be apologetic about it, Scott. You know. I'm sorry, Steve. I agree with Brian this time. My apologies.
Let's see what he's agreeing with. Well, what do you agree with?
So here's the deal. Okay, I'm tired of establishment Republicans. I'm tired of them. If this guy jumped on jumped on Trump. I don't care if it was a brief lapse of reasoning. He jumped on. He was against Trump, and Trump is everything that we stand for. And this guy was briefly against everything we stand for. He's just another establishment Republican, and we're done with it.
So who do you want? What's the alternative?
Well, I don't want that. I just don't want that. That's why we got Trump in there in the first place.
What do you?
I don't know who's running. I just don't want any more establishment Republicans. Because I don't want.
Steve, what Scott's talking about is what I told you. Okay. Whoever gets it is going to be an establishment Republican. They're not going to make Matt Gaetz or some MAGA person speaker. However, what Kevin McCarthy did is unforgivable. He was involved in a plot to make Pence president and remove Trump from office after January 6th, and that's unforgivable.
Go on long enough to be considered a plot. It was.
He had a call. Oh my goodness. With people that have the power to make it happen if they pursued it.
He also voted against impeaching Joe.
That may even be treason. That might even been treason.
Where he stands. We're tired of the rhinos. And I left the party to become independent again for this very reason. I don't the Republicans. I'm a conservative. I want a conservative in power. I do not want the same old. This is the problem with the Republican Party. This is why it's in the mess that it's in. Because they're not representing the conservatives. They're representing the establishment.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, Scott, not only are you spot on, right on the money, you have great taste in radio, I must say, based on your listening habits. But listen, Steve, it's going to be a Republican establishment person that becomes speaker, just not this guy. Because this guy betrayed Trump and the whole MAGA movement. He can't be trusted. He's a snake. He's a snake. He also, I'll tell you another thing he did, and he did do this. He didn't just talk about it. When Nancy Pelosi asked him, he removed Marjorie Taylor Greene from all those committee assignments last year. Come on. This guy is a snake.
You're always a betrayer. It'll happen down the road. Not our guy.
All right, Scott. Hey, Scott, thanks for the call. All right, full board of calls, took one at random, and that was a good guy. Good guy. All right, let's go. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning.
From Louisiana.
Hey, Nancy.
Hey, Brian, I completely agree with you about Kevin McCarthy, but I also agree with Steve, and yes, that is a big concern. They are afraid that they're going to make Liz Cheney speaker.
She's not even in Congress. She's not going to be speaker. No one's ever been... There has never been a speaker who was not a member. It's never happened.
But I'm saying they said that, like Jim Jordan, Steve Scalise said that they are behind Kevin McCarthy because they don't want that to happen.
That's scare tactic. That's scare tactics.
I do agree that Kevin is too wishy-washy, but they've got to get their stuff together because Hakeem Jeffries is no different than Nancy Pelosi. They need somebody that's going to stand up to them, quit apologizing for all this racist comment.
Well, I've seen Kevin get pretty upset and
I agree.
Pretty forceful.
Yeah, like when he wanted to make Pence president, he was pretty pissed that day, I'll tell you.
Against him about January 6th because of the fact that these people like to record phone calls, they like conversations and they'll release it. But I do agree with you. Either way, I think Kevin is too wishy-washy, but I'm afraid that he's going to be the only one that can stand up to them, and he's going to have to.
I've seen him speak out forcefully against some of these.
Yes, I have to.
But he's playing a character of being Butch MAGA right now. No, he can't. No, that's
biased.
Well. He could, if he announced he was not going to become speaker, I would support that. But other than that, he could no, he can't win with me.
There's just all this fighting the way the Republicans do, like right now. They're so divided, and I understand where you're coming from. I completely agree, and I don't have nothing towards the one Steve. So with Steve, I disagree with him, but I still understand where he's coming from, but I don't trust Zelensky. But as far as with Kevin and the Republicans, they're going to have to, this infighting that they're doing all out in public, it divides us all. And then
They're going to have to get it over. They're going to get over it, and they got to get over it.
Why?
It's about. I'll tell you exactly why. Because there are major things wrong with what's going on right now. The thing that comes to mind at the top of my head is the border, and we're about to be handed the ball for the first time when the switchover occurs. And if what they see are a bunch of kids fighting in the playground amongst themselves, we're going to lose credibility.
Well, Kevin, oh my gosh. Steve, Kevin McCarthy could end the fighting and not seek out the speakership. Give it to Scalise.
He needs to be behind closed doors, like the Democrats. They don't do this in public.
No.
They're evil demons, in my opinion.
Yeah. Hey, listen, we got to run for a break, but thanks for the call. All right, we'll be right back.
Hard Truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on the...
All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated, as we do each morning at this time for the Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how the metals looking right after Christmas?
Yeah, metals are starting on an up week here. Gold's up $9.50 this morning after trading up to about $1,814. We're right now at $1,808, up $9.50. Silver up 28 cents this morning at $24 the ounce. It's been higher. And platinum is down $13 at $1,010, while palladium is up $48 at $1,730. Oil's $80 a barrel. The dollar is slightly higher this morning, but remains to be seen if it's going to be able to maintain those slight gains. But gold acting very well.
That's all good news. We're ending the year on a very high note. What are the buy recommendations today, William Youngerman?
We still like silver and platinum, and I like all three of them.
I like them all three. Yeah, now, people don't have to come in to buy or sell. You can do business over the phone. Can you tell people a little bit about how that works, William?
Absolutely. We've been shipping rare coins and precious metals all over the world for over 50 years, and it's just as simple as picking up the phone, calling our 800 number, and checking in as to what you want to buy, and locking in the price and sending the funds, and they go out immediately, fully insured to our client. You're anywhere you want them.
And if there's a particular coin that someone's looking for, maybe they're a collector, do people call you often and say, hey, look, there's this one coin I'm really looking for, can you help me out?
Absolutely. We represent clients for rare coins from all over the world, and our bidders in almost all the major auctions all around the world. So it's hardly anything we can't obtain for our.
Well, listen, William Youngerman opens up weekdays at 10 a.m. You can give him a call if you have any questions. 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. Online, WilliamYoungerman.com. And he's located in Boca at 150 East Palmetto Park Road on the first floor of the Bank of America building, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow.
That, even the metals are up a little bit higher right now, the premiums have come down on many of the products. You can save a lot of money by buying now with the lower premium.
That means you get more metals for your money. All right, so that's good news. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right, back after this.
Take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, and of course, I had a few things from Anne Marie, Steve, for Christmas dinner. Not only did we have a delicious meal, which I'll talk about, someone gave me a very nice bottle of wine from Anne Marie's. You know, Anne Marie's, they have wines too. No, that was another. I drank another bottle of wine that was meant for you, but I'll make it up for you, Steve. You know, the radio station gave me and Steve each a bottle of wine, and I I was saving Steve's for Steve's, and I drank mine, not alone, and it was so good, Steve. The radio station wine was so good, I could. That was like a wine. I guess I had to drink. Yeah.
It shows you what I think about when I'm going to sleep at night. I was thinking about Anne Marie's and the incredible pizza. I mean, the best pizza I've ever had. You got to go to New York to find pizza anywhere near as good.
Well, that's one of the things we had. We had many things, okay, and one of them was the Sicilian. We got the Sicilian pepperoni, and let me tell you, whatever it is about their crust is the best crust I've ever had, and it is just delicious crust, just out of this world.
For the Christmas, for your Christmas party, have Anne Marie cater it, go order by phone, and you come pick it up, and a great, you're going to have a successful
New Year's Eve? Yeah. Well, I'll give you a couple tips, okay? Because, everything at Anne Marie's is homemade. Grandma's recipes, everything is homemade, okay? And we had a bunch of people over, had our parents over and everything. And I ordered off the Italian favorites. Cause, I just love Italian food. It's my favorite. We had the spaghetti and meatballs, the chicken parm, the baked ziti. We got a whole bunch of things. And we got one thing that no one had before, and it was a hit. The Jerry's Bank Rolls. We got the pepperoni Jerry's Bank Rolls, and everyone was like, "Do you have more of these?" That was like the first thing everybody just chowed down on. They were a hit at our Christmas dinner. Now, Steve, you have a great idea. New Year's Eve, great for New Year's. Get takeout from Anne Marie's and have some great homemade Italian food. Your family, your guests will be just raving. In fact, I've talked to people, even after Christmas, that was a great dinner. Where's that restaurant at?
These are my personal favorites. The all meat, what are they called?
It's the Meat Lovers.
The Meat Lovers pizza. Oh, it's unbelievable. And this is the secret, they put loads of cheese and stuff on it. They really load them up good. But I always, on top of that, order extra cheese and extra meat. And I got to tell you, you're going to think you're going to heaven.
Absolutely. Yeah, and everything is delicious, and it tastes homemade because it is. And it's family-owned and operated. They take great pride in their food. Anne Marie's is located in Pompano on the northwest corner of US 1 Federal Highway in the same plaza as the movie theater. Now, if you want to order for the takeout for New Year's, I'm going to give out the number. And I just went in person, actually, on Saturday and ordered. And I had a couple slices of pizza while I was waiting, and you can do that too. But if you want to order in advance, give them a call, 954-889-6600. 954-889-6600. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. All right, there's only one opening on the board at 1-888-GO-KANE-1, so let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Bruce from Lake Worth.
All right, Lake Worth, go ahead.
Just a question. Do you think it's possible participated in?
No. I don't think that's it. No. Is that a thought you have or a fantasy you have? Which is it? All right, think about that. All right, good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Connie from Ohio.
All right.
Yeah, how come Jim Jordan's a little bit more not forceful to get, he would make such a good Speaker of the House. I don't know why he would stand behind McCarthy.
Yeah, last time, okay, I'm glad you mentioned Jim Jordan because you're calling from Ohio and he's from Ohio, and I like Jim Jordan. Steve, if you remember when Hazard became Speaker after Newt, he wasn't the first choice. There was Bob Livingston. And then it turned out he was having an affair with some woman, and the Republicans dropped him so quickly because they were going after Bill Clinton at the time for his affairs, and we couldn't have And Newt was out because it's okay to have some division. Once we have a speaker, they're the speaker, and the division's forgotten. I think Jim Jordan would be perfect as Speaker of the House. Could you? Oh man, that'd be beautiful. I'd love to see Nancy hand him the gavel.
Another thing I was going to ask, what's the deal with all these Republicans signing for the omnibus thing? I heard Rubio's name was on there, you know.
Yes.
There's Cotton, I believe. Of course, we knew that.
Oh, that's simple. That's simple. They're all corrupt, and they have to pay off their donors with our tax money. And little Marco Rubio apparently is no better.
Of course, when I look at that, now I heard in this omnibus, this money that purse strings are not going to be given to Kevin McCarthy because I heard they already took money away from him.
Well, the omnibus was passed with Pelosi as speaker. The Republicans haven't taken over. We don't take over till next month. So they pushed so it's all done. Done, done, done. It can't be undone. It's done, done, done. Yeah. Yeah. And you know, this is the problem, okay? Because we talk about inflation. Now, again, maybe I'm wrong about this, but my understanding, you know, from school was the only thing that causes inflation is too much government spending. There's too much money in the cash flow. And the spending's out of control because they don't even print the money up anymore. They just add zeros on a computer screen. It's all digital. And this omnibus bill is going to cause inflation it's going to put us in a recession if we're not in one already.
And Republicans didn't even put up a fight.
Nope.
And not a peep until after it was over.
But Jim Jordan would if that came before him and he was speaker.
Well, look at
Tell him to throw his hat in the ring.
Yes.
Mitt Romney said, "Oh, this is why I voted for it. I don't believe that they know how to handle the money." Just have to comment, Mitt Romney. Why he voted on?
They know how to handle the money. They don't listen. They've got donors. These are all corrupt public officials who are on the take. They owe people money. This is okay. The Congress has a legal. They make the laws. Okay, so everything they do is legal. Even though I'll use some phrases that sound like crimes, they make the law, so it's all legal, right? They are money launderers. You donate money to a member of Congress, either house. You donate as much as the law allows you, and then they pass bills like the omnibus, and they pay you back many times over with government money. It's a money laundering operation. They owe money to these people. That's why Mitt Romney and all of them did it. They're crooks. They're corrupt. It's legal, but it's still money laundering. It's legal money laundering.
Talk about snakes. Romney's the worst.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, I'll tell you, he is, you know, Steve and I have experience with Mitt Romney. Before we knew he was a snake, when he ran for president, we had him on the show a few times. We were at Wings Plus with him. And let me tell you, it was hard to get to Mitt Romney. You know why, caller? It was very hard to meet Mitt Romney. Do you know why, caller? No. The women were lined up to meet him. I tell you, these Republican women, they're all married, and they just had the hots for him. And he is a slick, cool dude. When you meet Mitt Romney, you'd love him. He's great. He's such a snake.
What? He was like Bill Clinton was.
Worse. I've met Bill Clinton, and he's a bigger sleaze than Bill Clinton. I've met them both. Okay? And we didn't know he was a snake back then. He's a snake now, and he hates MAGA, and he's just corrupt. You know, what are you going to do? Hey, all right. What's that?
He hides behind the Mormons, so everybody thinks he's religious.
I don't know if he hides behind it. You know, he was not the governor of Utah. He was the governor of Massachusetts. So that tells you everything you know. You know, what kind of Republican can get elected there? Fake Republican. People think he was the governor of Utah because he's like the Mormon Pope or something. He's like the top Mormon in the country. But that's not true. He was governor of a very tiny little liberal state. They based Obamacare on his health care plan in Massachusetts. Romney Care. This guy's always been this way, but he's a slick politician. If you met Mitt Romney in person, you'd like him. That's how slick he is. I know. Take care. Thanks for the call. Great calls today, for the most part, and you know, can't say that 100%, but the calls were pretty good today. And listen, we're going to be here all week. And we're going to be here live all the way through our cruise, okay, guys? And those of you that called in today, thanks so much. I think every caller today, even the mediocre ones, contributed something to the program. There's been a lot of points brought up by callers today that I know made me think about some things a little differently, especially that guy that was telling us how great the show is. That was the wisest caller of all, Scott, the wisest caller we've had in a while. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 45 years on the radio. In a couple weeks, that'll be 46 years. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane, of course, has been here. And if you miss a portion of the show, you can go to our radio station website, trueoldiesfla.com, trueoldiesfla.com. And each day, about an hour after we go off the air, the entire show is uploaded on the podcast page. So check that out if you want to hear your call or just if you missed a part of the show. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Take care.
WWNN AM Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown.
All right, guys. Hey, listen. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like the video before you go, guys.